Episode 130 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/The Wilderness Podcast. Our supporter of the week is Jamie Clement. We're also brought to you by Audible. Get a free month and a free audiobook at audibletrial.com/wild. Welcome to episode 130 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dills, and with me is Deegan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So first things first, what we're going to be talking about in the news is the big new skill that may or may not be coming into the game, warding.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed quite a bit of stuff since their teaser at RuneFest. Some changes, I'm not too sure why, but I guess we'll get into it, right?
Yep.
And with the Treasure Trails expansion being released last week, we get some feedback, or they're asking for feedback and some changes as well. But there's also some quality of life trickled in with that. As for community chatter,
EHP takes a whole new meaning.
Yeah, there's a whole new tier to conquer, and I guess some streamer drama. So before we get into all of that, Deegan, what did you do this week?
Lots of mining, lots of fishing. I don't know if I said last week, but I've taken a break from raids, from Xerix specifically.
Right, and you're banging out, 99 mining?
Well, I'm flopping between mining and fishing, just depending on what I'm doing on the side.
But you're getting those both to 99, right?
Well, 92 mining, then 99 fishing.
Okay.
If I want to sit down and actively play, I will power mine iron, and then if I want to AFK some stuff, I will just do barbarian fishing.
Fun.
Yeah. So I'm playing a lot of Siege, so I've been doing a lot of fishing and some mining. Right now I'm at 85 or 86 mining. I think I'm at 85 mining right now, and I'm at 93 fishing. So I've gotten 2 levels in that and a couple in mining. I don't know, I was kind of bored. So I went and did Mithril Dragons just for fun.
Last week you did Rune Dragons, this week Mithril?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Mithril Dragons suck, but I got my Elite Candor and one of the things done from it. Okay. I was I'll sit there until I get the mangled or chewed bone or whatever.
Right.
And I was if I enjoy this, and maybe I'll actually keep doing it. So I've never really grinded them out. In conclusion, they suck.
What sucks about them?
Money. They're harder than Rune Dragons.
Are they?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
I just really wasn't paying attention. No,
less kills per hour.
That's weird. Because Mithril Dragons, they do a ranged attack and a maged attack, right?
And a melee.
But if you stay at distance, you only have the 2 to worry about.
But you should be meleeing them.
I always mage them, and I always found it a little bit easier.
Well, I have a Dragon Hunter Lance and shit.
Oh, so that might be, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
When's that Dragon Hunter staff coming out? Shit.
Well, we'll get into that later. Yeah, I don't know. I did the math, and I was getting less kills per hour with the exact same setup. I actually tried a different setup as well, just to see, maybe I'll just, go for more of a defensive setup. No, I was getting this, less kills per hour, the same setup, less kills per trip, which is weird.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, because with Rune Dragons, they have that ranged attack that does a percentage, right, of your health?
Yeah.
They shoot lightning bolts, and if you don't have those, the lightning shoes, what are they called?
The insulated boots?
Yeah, the insulated boots, you take, a lot more damage.
Yeah, but with the boots, you take,
nothing.
8 damage. I don't know. It was weird. I just noticed that, the trips are shittier. The time in between each trip is longer. There's more running. It's just way shittier loot. The loot's awful.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It's you're there to 1 in 8,000 total to get 40 mil.
Is it 40 mil for the helmet?
Yeah.
Really? It's 40 mil.
Yeah, 41, but 40.
It's gone up.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why has it gone up?
They took it off Brutal Black Dragons.
Huh.
And no one kills Mithril Dragons because they suck.
I'll do it because I'll get the Slayer task sometimes. I have that unlocked. I don't mind it. I get the noted mithril bars. You walk away like 20k, but it's I didn't mind doing it. I get them very rarely, so maybe that's why. It's a nice kind of change of pace, I find.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't matter though. I got the elite Kandarin, so I never have to go back.
Nice.
Did I do anything else in RuneScape? I did a top attempt. I did one.
How'd that go?
Well, we didn't do it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, so someone in the CC, there's a listener that's like pretty experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, well, let's go. I was like, all right, I'm down. And then we didn't really have anyone to go with. So we grabbed free-for-all people, and it just didn't work out.
True, that sucks.
And like just limited time, right? Just due to like time zone differences.
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing about being on East Coast. Maybe we should move to like BC or some shit so we can like PVM more efficiently.
Yeah, that's a good call if you really want to take this seriously.
Yeah. Because it's like either I have to stay up late to PVM or someone in the UK has to stay up way later. And then it's like, because West Coast or like, it's like not many East Coast players. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I did. I honestly kind of just like AFK skilled and like did random shit on the side. Like, yeah, a lot of Rainbow Six. That game's fun. Shooting some people. I played with like my coworkers and my buddies and stuff. So it's always a good time. I guess, and it was also like Easter weekend. So like we did family shit and stuff.
Yeah,
and
we went to the Ontario Science Center.
yeah.
Dude, it kind of sucks.
That's a thumbs down.
It used to be great. It was so good 15 years ago because all of the technology there was new. We went there on a couple days ago and hadn't been updated. It might have been downgraded. It hadn't been updated at all. And I was like, we went to the IMAX thing. And I don't know if you've ever seen IMAX, but it's like a huge screen that's like, I don't know how you would explain it, but it's like
domed.
Yeah, at the time I think it was supposed to replicate like VR, but sitting, you know what I mean? Like you feel like you're there because the screen's really big and it goes around the room a bit. So it's like, at the time it was new technology. The audio is really good. I'll give them that. Like the audio is fucking sick.
Yeah.
And
but it's still like 440p.
Yeah, that's the thing. It hadn't been updated. I was like watching it and I was like, this isn't impressive at all.
Yeah.
But because there's at the beginning of an IMAX thing, there's always that guy who's like, IMAX with using all these light sensors and the audio, and it shows you that we have a speaker here and a speaker here, and it's all over the room, and it's if you turned all the lights on, this is what it would look like from space, and it would show this like the moon and this giant light thing from the moon. You're like, oh, that's so cool, and then it starts, and you're like, God, it feels like the internet connection's really shit, and you're trying to watch a YouTube video. Like, it just wasn't impressive, and I was like, yeah, the whole time I'm like, you gotta update these things. You gotta,
yeah. And little kids kind of ruin everything. Everything was sticky.
Yeah, kids. I don't like kids.
No, they're kind of annoying.
They're very annoying and selfish and greedy.
Yeah, you're like looking. I was like looking at some shit, and some kid like just started like they had this slide to like show you put these like things over the like these panels over these like light things, and it would like if it's this color, then the star composition would be made of these chemicals. And you're like, oh, yeah. So you're like fucking with it, and then like this little kid just started yanking them all out from like the shit I was like looking at.
I want to go. It's my turn.
No, but he took them all out and then just put them back in the holder. And I like looked at him. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And his dad's like right there, and he's like, "Oh, you know, like son,
boys will be boys."
Yeah, and like. I smacked him pretty hard.
You know how much stronger I am than you?
But I think that's it. There might be some stuff I'm missing. Probably. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. What'd you do this week?
My final week of school, so I had to do like the last presentations and assignments and our finals and all that stuff. And I guess the other thing is, I don't know if I probably did talk about it last week, but I'm waiting for the new VR to come out. I'm like super excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to get it. It's obviously it's like $400, which is, it's expensive. But comparing it to some of the other VR headsets out there, it's like kind of on the lower end price wise. So I've been trying to justify it to myself to actually get it.
You're saving money.
Yeah.
You're making money.
Exactly.
You could spend $800 on Microsoft's or $400 on this. You made $200.
Exactly. It's profit. So that's my my mindset going into this because I work once a week. I went to download the the Oculus thing to test my computer to see if all my specs are up to requirements. And I thought it was, but turned out my graphics card wasn't. So then I'm like, oh shit, do I have to buy a new graphics card? Start looking up the prices for some of them. Started learning how expensive they are. So here's the thing, I'm an idiot when it comes to this computer stuff. Like when it comes to like building a computer and whatnot. You give me a day and I'll figure it out. But I couldn't answer any questions from if someone had them. Anyway, some guys from the Discord have been helping me out with that because they do know their shit. And yeah, I spent all today putting a graphics card into my computer, so it seems like everything's working fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, why did I go through all of that? I haven't really played RuneScape this week. I've just been busy doing real life stuff and getting everything else sorted out, so haven't done much. I am way behind in my plans, my schedule for getting these Elite Diaries done. I had planned to have... I should have had like 91 runecrafting by now, but I either just hit level 90 or I'm like 20k experience away from level 90. I can't remember. Yeah, I haven't really had that much time to jump on, which is unfortunate, but I think we're going to have some time this week to finally sit down and crack some things through.
Yeah.
All right, though, with that being said, we got some big topics to talk about this week, so we may as well just jump right into it.
So I guess we'll start off. It's going to be a doozy. This might be a long episode, but the Warding redesign blog, they've taken into consideration what our gripes, well, they said they have, what our gripes, they said they've taken in consideration with our gripes, the first iteration of Warding. And
now there's new ones.
They want the skill to feel like old school and fill a gap in content with useful rewards and not just new armor. Imbuing rings, moving to warding, the concept of dissolving or like invention, fixed terminology. They changed how, they made like a lot of little changes. But I guess for all the new listeners and everyone, we'll just like kind of talk about.
They've changed a bunch. They've added some new things. They've removed some of the other stuff from RuneFest.
Yeah.
But they have a little intro to the skill, so if you don't mind.
Yep.
The ground shook across the land as 6 ominous rocks rose from the earth in a swirl of magic and rubble. The scholars of the Wizard's Tower were quick to act and immediately began studying the monolithic monstrosities. They quickly discovered a method of manipulating the energy within the rocks and with various magical tools used it to create armor with impressive capabilities. Some would say this came far too easily, as if they knew exactly what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Dive into Oldschool RuneScape's first new skill by discovering the hidden armaments, it's hard to read from so far away, of the Wizard's Tower. There you will learn the intricate art of drawing wards and channeling VIS to create a vast array of armor suited for witches and wizards.
So I guess we'll just like go through the whole update and then we'll talk about what we think about it afterwards because there's so much to talk about.
All right.
To make it a lot easier. So many things that we can discuss within the skill.
So I guess I'll ask you, what is warding?
To understand the role of warding, let's identify the gap in it's designed to fill. In most scenarios, mage equipment is either bought or dropped by monsters, cannot be created by players, so making magic an exception to the two other sides of the combat triangle, warding allows players to channel a material called Vis into woven materials and transform them into mage robes and armors.
It's like you wrote that yourself.
Yep.
Well, how exactly do you train warding?
Warding experience is gained in a few ways. Drawing wards, channeling Vis new equipment, dissolving equipment into Vis. Drawing a ward and dissolving equipment will only give token experience, the best way to train warding. Therefore, is to channel new equipment.
Interesting.
And the best way to train warding is to channel new equipment. Who knew that crafting? Anyways. So below is, sorry. So here are the steps, I guess, to creating your gear.
All right.
Yeah. So you get your gathering tools and resources. So the first tool for warding are ward stones and channeling lamps. So ward stones There's two types of them. There's elemental and catalytic. Both types are created via a channeling lamp, and the ward stones can be stored in a warder's kit to save bank space. So elemental wards are a mixture of elemental vis and steatite. I don't know what that is.
Don't like these words. Vis. That's
Yeah.
It needs a few more letters.
Call them soapstones. But you use them to draw elemental wards onto the ground. And you can purchase this new steatite from rune shops, or you can mine them with 15 mining. And once you draw these ward stones, you can now use them for warding. And the catalytic ward stones are a mixture of catalytic vis and abraxas, and are used to draw battle wards onto the ground. Abraxas can be obtained from monster drops or bought at rune shops, and once a battle ward has been drawn, it will apply various magical buffs to nearby players.
That's a new one.
Yeah. So channeling lamps are used for channeling vis through a ward into raw materials to create magically imbued equipment. It'll be like...
It's like your hammer for smithing, right?
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. It goes
and the ward stone's like the anvil.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And this goes in your offhand, so some fashionscape possibilities.
Sweet.
Yeah.
They look all right.
Yep. It kind of looks like a lamp.
Wow.
Yeah. Who would have thunk? So Vis was formerly known as runic energy in like the first concept where you'd splash. But yeah, so it's generated by the channeling lamp when runes are consumed or when equipment is dissolved on a ward, and you need Vis to make equipment. There are some scenarios where Vis can be replaced by other materials. Like elemental Vis is not needed when channeling using the same type of ward. Using an air ward while channeling armor that normally requires air Vis would no longer be required of that type of Vis. Same with like using elemental staves as replacement for runes when casting spells.
Is that poorly written? Because it's hard to follow.
So if you keep in line of like using a staff to cast spells, so you're casting Fire Strike, you're splashing, you can draw like a fire ward, and you won't need fire vis to make a piece of gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like the color of like the stone that you're using to draw stuff will save you that resource. So it gives some variety, I guess. There are fabrics. So this is a material primarily used in warding to craft the magic armors, and it will utilize existing cloth types such as Xertian, but will also introduce a new swath of fabrics via the two new farming options, planting flax and integrating with the magnanary. Lower level fabrics will also be available for monster drops.
Cool.
Step 1, get the resource. Step 2, locate a ward. So you can left click on a ward stone while outside, and much like a fire, you'll place the ward and you can do what you want. And then step 3 would be channeling your equipment.
Okay.
So cool. Not bad, right?
Channeling equipment as in just creating it.
Yeah.
Okay, easy peasy.
So the first thing they introduce is other training methods, which is dissolving. If you're familiar with intervention or anything like that.
Invention, you mean?
Yeah, what did I say? Intervention?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's goddamn skill needs intervention. I'm kidding. I'm joking. But so yeah, dissolving's much like invention, where you will take like pieces of gear and you can dissolve it on like wards and whatnot. Similar, like it's comparison of like cleaning an herb for herb lore. But like let's say you use like a mithril like chain skirt or a plate skirt, you'll get like maybe some bars back.
There's a chance to get some bars.
Yep. Yeah. Whatever ward you're dissolving on, you will get that like vis of.
Yeah, so there's a chance to get either ore or bars from whatever item you're dissolving and breaking down, but there's a 100% chance to get the material.
Yep.
Known as vis.
Yeah. And so that's dissolving. It is big item sync that they're introducing. But yeah, some other things they talk about. So that's like the process, but they go into their next part, and it's rebalancing content linked to warding. So for free to play, they will want to add like new magic armors and rebalance, like the blue skirt would now be a wizard's robe skirt.
Yeah. If you don't know in free to play, that's like what a mage might use, but it gives you no bonuses.
Yeah. You get 2 magic bonus
with this change.
Yeah. And then the shade armor, which you get from Stronghold Security. And the shade gear, the hood would be like 4 magic attack. The body would be 6, and the legs would be 5.
So the new best in slot for free to play.
I believe so. I don't know what Zamrock robes are. I don't remember. But yeah. And then pay to play, they want to make some adjustments to some of the gears. So Split Bark is pretty useless, but although the defensive bonus of Split Bark is supposed to make up for its bad magic attack, it just isn't that good. So they want to buff it.
Yeah, when it was first introduced, it's supposed to be like the tanky version of armor or of mage gear.
Yeah, so they want to add a total of like 17 mage attack to bring it up to, or mage bonus, and give it a total of 41 over 24, which it is currently. The next one is Skeletal, and this set, along with its range and melee counterparts, are useless.
Yeah.
But the magic attack is subpar, and the defensive bonuses mean very little. So they would like to bring it in line with the other robes of the same tier, and they want to give it an effect. Each piece will give 1% magic damage bonus against aquatic animals like Dagonoths and Water Fiends. So currently the magic attack is 16, and they want to bring it up to 45.
Big buff.
Yeah. And then lunar armor. It's got like pretty high requirements to equip.
Yep.
And they want to bring the magic attack from currently it's at 26 up to 53. So they want to give it pretty much double and some change.
Yeah, because right now it has less magic bonuses than Xerxian's robes, which only require, 20 magic?
Yeah. And they want to rename Lunar Armor to Ceremonial Armor, and then create a new set called Lunar Armor, and then the buff Lunar Armor stats would be on Lunar Armor. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's confusing, though.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they like the way this armor looks, and they want to use it.
And they want it to be linked directly to the quest.
Right.
So they want to name the quest-related armor to Ceremonial, and then after that, you can wear the Lunar Armor.
Which is going to be a new.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the other way around. No, wait. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. They want to do that. And then the Lunar outfit would have the same ability as the skeletal equipment.
Okay, so you get the percentage bonus.
Mm-hmm. And then imbues, they want to just remove imbues off Nightmare Zone and into the skill. So some things that they've talked about is convert all NMZ imbued rings into the unimbued ring and allow a new item. And the new item to be purchased from NMZ with the points for a set amount of weeks. Yeah, I don't know. They want to just change around how imbues work, I guess. Move it off from NMZ.
Good.
Yep. New rewards. You know those elemental mages in free-to-play? The air, water, earth, and fire?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they want to add those robes to the game.
Okay.
So they'd be degradable battle mage robes that would come in all those variants with the mask. And the mask will require a new unique drop from the elemental giant bosses. The mask will require a new unique drop from the elemental giant bosses. So Obor and Bryophyta to make. And you'll need a matching talisman to make the top and bottom.
The way they say that almost seems like they do have plans to bring out more giant bosses for free.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
huge.
That's probably an obvious one, but this is kind of a big teaser for that.
So new armors for free to play.
Pay to play.
Oh yeah, for pay to play. First one is Arceus. So you need 100% Arceus favor to make and equip it. Total of 20 magic, attack, and defense.
So
for
nothing.
The hat robe or the hat top and bottom, and then you get 9 total prayer.
Okay, so it's very meh armor.
Yep. The next one is Blood Bark, which is an improved version of Split Bark with added effects. The closer you are to your opponent, the more damage you deal. There is also a chance of soaking melee damage by 50%.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That promotes poor gameplay in the PvP community, funny enough. If you're getting spec'd on mage robes...
Oh, with melee. Oh, you think like someone's going to swap to mage robes to AGS spec someone?
No, it's... If you get caught on robes and someone AGS specs you, you're going to take mad damage most likely. But with this armor, you have a chance to just
not
reduce the damage by 50%.
Yeah, okay.
The total bonus is like 41 mage attack and defense. Those are the most notable ones. Definitely a little interesting though. So Soul Bark is the improved version of Blood Bark. Increased magical damage that scales how close you are to your opponent. Yeah, so this armor has, what is it, 47? Yeah, 47 magic attack and defense. The next one is the Cosmos armor. So this degradable armor is an improved version of lunar armor with further increased damage to aquatic enemies.
All right.
Yeah, so this is 55 magic and defense bonus, 9 magic strength. Wait.
9%, right?
Yeah, 9% magic strength.
What's that compared to what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. The that other gear?
Ancestral?
Yeah.
I don't know what the total is off the top of my head. I should know, but what was Ancestral?
So it's 2% each.
So this is already better than Ancestral.
We'll go through them afterwards, yeah.
Okay. So Dragon High is a degradable rope. Sorry, Cosmos was degradable. Dragon High is also degradable.
Dagon High.
Yeah, Dagon High, sorry. And it has improved damage against undead enemies such as skeletons, ghosts, and zombies. This has a 55 magic attack and defense with a total of 9% magic strength bonus. Kin Hunter is a degradable magic set that works similar to the Dragon Hunter crossbow and lance.
Oh, so there it is. There's the the Dragon Hunter staff.
So 55 magic attack and defense with 15 magic strength bonus. And then we have Venomous. So these are degradable robes that have improved damage against poisonous enemies, such as lizardmen, spiders, and snakes. So this has, is it 55 as well? Yeah. Magic and attack and defense bonus with 9 magic strength. And then, so that's it for the armors. For the weapons, they have Mystic Cocktails. So it's a range alternative item, an alternative to Chinchompas. And these weapons have damage bonuses against demons and require the completion of Legends quests to make. If used against non-demonic mobs, they have considerably reduced accuracy to avoid stepping on Chinchompa viability. And there are varieties: Guam, Haralander, Quorm, and Dwarf. Dragonbane Claws.
Demon.
What did I say? I'm looking at the wrong thing. Demon Bane Claws. There are 4 types of Bane Claws that are made via channeling specific items with Catalytic Vis, and they will have increased damage and will auto-cast specific spells against demons based on the claws you wield. They come in the following: Fiend, Demonic, Shadow, and Dark Claws. And Skull Scepter Imbues. An imbued Skull Scepter can auto-cast Crumble the Undead, has magical damage bonuses against undead, and has improved magical attack when compared to the standard scepter. Alongside these new weapons brings opportunities to extend the undead bane spells on the standard spellbook with Smite and Banish Undead. They come in the following: Chaotic, Deadly, Bloody, and Wrathful. And then new imbues. So, some new imbues. So, Channeled Skilling Rings. These rings will aid you in skilling via replenishing resources as soon as they diminish. For example, when wielding a ring of wood, when a tree falls down, there is a chance the tree will come back instantly. There will be 4 skilling imbued rings: Ring of Earth, Wood, Amber, and Iron. Channel combat rings and amulets. So there'll be 9 combat imbued rings. The Ring of Wealth, Warrior, Treasonous, Tyrannical, Gods, Berserker, Seers, Archers, and Suffering.
I think it's safe to say the way they display that there will be the level required. Like it's the level tiers, right? As in Ring of Wealth will be tier 1, Warrior tier 2. I shouldn't say tier because people are going to think that's the level required, but you know what I mean, right?
I assume so, but they don't really specify. I think they just kind of rattle off the list. Other content.
And there's more. It just keeps on going.
Yep. So, battle wards. There are a variety of ways battle wards could function, and these would change current PvM and PvP metas in a substantial way. And it offers a variety of designs to assure that they're creating content that you want most. So, let's start off with area buffs. So, with these battle wards, when stood within one tower radius from a ward, it would activate certain buffs to player, but only while the player is dealing magic damage to enemies. A single ward's power is to spread over everyone who stands near and gain the effect. Let's list these off. At level 40, you get a Mine Ward, and the effect pulls enemies towards it. Level 50 is a Chaos Ward, aggroes nearby mobs. Level 60, a Death Ward, AoE damage when mobs die. Level 70, Blood Ward, chance to heal when casting magic. Level 70, Soul Ward, chance to restore prayer when casting magic. Level 80 Ward, or Wrath Ward, recoil small amounts of damage. And alongside with the wards, they could also add Conjuring. So by placing a specific ward, a magical creature would be conjured to help a player in a variety of ways. To conjure, draw a Conjuring Ward with a Catalytic Ward Stone, and once your ward is in place, burying bones or ashes on the ward will conjure a specific mob type, such as a demonic being or an undead nightmare.
So this is summoning.
Yeah, you'll get some prayer experience. So, here's some more info. Level 40 Mine Ward, you could conjure a Greater Imp or a Zombie. Level 50 Chaos Ward, you can conjure a Elemental Fiend or Possessed Weapon. Level 60 Warding, you can get a Death Ward that you could do a Lesser Demon, Giant Skeleton. A Blood Ward would be for Greater Demons, level 70. The level 70 Soul Ward would be a Conjure Shade. And a level 80 would be a Conjure Hellhound or Enku. It's safe to say these are probably combat-related mobs. They don't give any specifics, but they're just there.
You'll require to use the respected bones.
Yeah, there's like Impish Ash, Bones, Elemental Ash. They have like their specific resources that you'll use on the ward.
Yeah, you'll need to use an Enku bone to summon the Enku.
Yep. So warding and other skills. So there is a variety of ways warding interact with existing in-game skills. So farming. There are from like between levels like 1 to 70 in the Magnanary. You can farm different kinds of flax. So at level 1 in the Magnanary, you got magic silkworms. Like level 5 farming, you can get flax. Level 10 farming, you get dark magic silkworm. Level 15, holy flax. 20, shadow silkworm. 25, unholy. And it goes up by 5, but Xertian silkworm, and then dark flask, mystic silkworm, then fine flax, and then 50 and 70 would be sanguinesti silkworm and moonfly silkworm.
Okay.
And then hunter, you could catch, it would be an extension to butterfly catching, and rewards you with silk moth larva that you can be used for farming. And wielding a channeling lamp while in an area with silk moths will cause them to follow you. So there are some moths that will only appear in special situations, kind of like implings. But yeah, so the table, it starts at 1, but it goes up in increments of 10. So at level 1, you get magic silk moth. At 10, dark magic, and then shadow silk, Xertian silk moth, mystic silk moth, sanguinesti, and then moonfly. And then I don't want to like read off every single fucking item they have in their skill guide because there's like 50 items.
And they're all the items we've already talked about. It's just the tier.
So like they have like for the armors, they have it all laid out from level 1 to 90. And for like the banes, like some of the weapons, it's 20 to 89. And then for the imbues, it's 9 to 88. And yeah, you are right. Like pretty much like the order that we read them in.
The rings, yeah. So
yeah, that was the fastest I could go through that without like trying to speed run it. Hopefully, you guys have an understanding of warding.
Well, we'll go through it, give our opinions, but I'll say right off the bat. Well, okay, let me say I like warding. I think that if a skill's going to come into the game, warding's a good idea. That being said, with this dev blog here, there's way too much going on. This is, I don't know what, like the creating magic armor, perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. Everything else with it, though, you're just like, I don't know what they want from this skill. It seems like they're not sure what the focus will be from the skill. So they have 1,000 things thrown in with it. And it also seems like a way to be like, well, if you don't like this idea, maybe you like this idea. It seems like a way to, because of the way the polling is, but it comes off as them not being entirely confident. I don't know. What do you think? A lot going on here, right?
Yeah. If all this passed, we would never, ever, ever need another warding update.
Which isn't good.
Which is awful.
It's too much going on, and it's again though, it's this. I don't think they put all this in here intending everything to pass. It's a way for people to be like to choose. You can customize the skill to how you want it to be. Because I think the big problem right now is it's a very contested argument where everybody wants a new skill, but it seems like nobody can agree upon what this new skill should be.
I think most people don't want a new skill in general.
Well, I see a lot of people who want a skill, but when the new skill gets proposed, they don't like it. So it's like every single person has like their own idea for a skill they want in the game, which causes everyone to not want any other skill.
I think, honestly, unironically, people want Slayer too. They don't want like a skilling skill.
Yeah, okay.
Because like people don't like people just want to kill shit.
Yeah,
no one wants the
that's
skill, and that's why they end up like, we're gonna wow you. We're gonna throw like 80 things.
Let's go through it.
Yeah, we'll go through it.
So the first thing we talked about was the process of actually making the clothing, the like tailoring, right?
So this is way better than their first idea, because their first idea was you splash. Not kidding. You go to an area, you splash, and then you go to like another area, like rune crafting, and then you make armor there.
Well, no, you could still place the ward down, but there was these rocks you had to go splash on.
But like the further you were away from those rocks, they wanted you to like place the wards near those rocks.
Yeah, because I think you gained the resources to make the wards. So it's like if you had a lot of shit to make, you may as well be doing it right next to this so you can replenish. But anyways, this new one is literally just like you make your own ward, kind of like how you make a fire, and then you use the resources on that to create it. What do you think of that?
Well, like that as a whole sounds good, but how you get the resources are actually where my issue is. Like the concept.
So the dissolving is what you're not cool with.
And farming.
Okay, well, let's go through dissolving. We'll go through it as we talked about it. So we'll get to farming when we...
Yeah, well, we should go up a bit because they use crafting as an example to make armor. Like, go like at the very top with the comparison. And like, I just want to talk about this for a quick second because the community compares warding to crafting. And the only similarity is that they're like buyables that make armor, right?
Yeah, and smithing.
Smithing, but like people like smithing super straightforward.
For the most part.
But the thing is, crafting was never implemented to make armor. Yeah, when they I went and looked into this. When they brought crafting in 2001, I got numbers. I got years. In 2001, it was jewelry and pottery.
Yeah.
And then with the release of RuneScape 2, that's when you could make Dragonhide.
Okay.
So, and that's 2 years later. That's 2003, right?
Yeah.
got to keep that in mind that like crafting wasn't implemented to make armor. And I just want to throw that out there because everyone like is comparing it super hard. Be like, crafting does everything. It's like, well, it's been around for what, 18 years now?
Mm-hmm.
There's literally people who were born after crafting and like they're driving cars and they're voting.
Oh, no.
And they're drinking.
Oh, jeez.
They've had kids.
Oh, no.
There are people who have had kids before crafting, before you can make dragonhide armor in this game.
Then they're going to the science center and touching all the stuff.
Yeah, goddamn animals.
Bastards.
But anyways, let's go back. Yeah. Dissolving is super worrisome to say the least.
Yeah, it's a big item sink, and it's gonna change. It could easily be a big change for the economy.
Yeah.
Whether or not in a good or bad way, that's something I don't think we would know until it happened.
Which is
Scary.
Yeah. So I guarantee you Jagex isn't paying people to see what this will do, but it's not that like dissolving, it's an item sink. It's that dissolving does two things to the economy at the exact same time. So, because every item that's going to be dissolved will like, it'll be alchables. It's those items that are already at alch price.
Yeah, you're not gonna be busting out the whips and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but
well, I don't think you can because they don't yield any resources. Like, what are you gonna get from a whip? Just the vis?
yeah,
Yeah, like I don't think you would get.
maybe a sausage.
Yeah, spine.
Yeah.
Some bones.
So there's an item sink for like all the alchable items. And then on top of that, if you're getting rid of an item and you're not alching it, you're also not bringing money into the game. So this causes the price of a bunch of items that affect everyone that will be buying, selling, using, like, you know, everyone involved. All those like highly traded items or whatever, those items coming into the game are going to be not coming into the game. And then they're also not being alched. So like the prices go up, but the money coming into the game won't be rising at the same price. Like, and it'll be like, it's like lowering the minimum wage, but then like the economy gets inflated a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's way less money coming into the game into the average player's hands, but now the cost of like all these pieces in general have shot up.
Well, I will say though, the pieces that are shooting up, it's nothing like there's such cheap items as it is that I don't think it would be that as big of a deal.
Do you remember when Invention came out?
Well, I do, but I wasn't playing RuneScape 3, so
Like the price, like things like quadrupled. Like,
but most of these things were clue items because that's where a
bearer
lot of
items, like a ton. It wasn't just clue items. It was
that's because those are uniques though. Like, Invention caused a bunch of these clue items to go up, which is like crazy. So when I logged into my RuneScape 3 account, I made a lot of money from selling like composite bows. Like a U composite bow was now selling for like 400K.
Yep.
And so it's kind of hard to compare them. Like it's similar, but the difference between with Invention is that a lot of the uniques is what really went up in price. Everything else, it probably went up when it first came out, but they settled back to how they were.
Pretty much everything went up in price, but the big thing is that if uniques go up in price, that's one thing, but every other alchable will be skyrocketing in price. I don't think
it's going to.
It will,
but I don't think it'll stay there.
It always like merching or like playing around like items for its alch price, which is like I don't know if that's good or bad for the game, but
I don't think that's good either, though.
The main thing is that like we don't know how drastic it would change everything because you have to keep in mind that like you're doing Slayer because no one likes the skill. You're doing Slayer, you get like 4 rune full helms. Like you're not going to be you might not alch them anymore. You might just dissolve it.
Yeah, you might, but why would that be a bad thing?
Well, now rune helmets are skyrocketing in price.
But when you say skyrocketing, are you expecting it to like be 10 times as much money, like 5 times as much? If they were to be like 50% more, I don't think that's
doubling in price is like considered skyrocketing.
I don't think that'll be like that forever, though. I think it'll be like that at first.
It'll be a constant, ongoing thing.
I would have to disagree with that.
Well, like if you look at the items you could make through warding,
Yeah, so that's
and the fact like the high tier stuff is degradable. And if they're going to be focusing on alchables, you would assume that dissolving dragon and rune pieces will yield you, like, even if it's not tier 90 venomous robes or something, like at least like the wards or something, like at least the tier like 50s and 60s and stuff, those will be affected. And like even the lower tiers, like a lot of these things that they suggest are like powerful items to be bringing into the game that will be used. All like the really good things are one-time use or degradable. So there's like longevity to like, it's not like, it won't be like wards are super cheap now, because they're gonna like at like what they suggest, they're really good and they're so useful for like most notably is Slayer. Like some of these, like the wards specifically, are amazing for bursting or barraging certain tasks.
Are you talking about
the battle wards?
Okay, yeah.
That's one aspect they brought up. Even Conjuring, like that stuff would be amazing for Slayer. Not just AoEing, but like changing, like if you have a cannon and like now you're cannoning Calphites and they're dying and doing AoE damage, like, or you're gaining health and prayer. Like there's a lot that like these items, which are going to be one-time use, hopefully, that like it'll have a constant need for people to be constantly dissolving.
But right now, these items are sitting at alch price, which I don't think is also a good thing. Basically, Jagex is dictating how much these items would be worth by putting that alch price. I feel like when an item's hitting alch price, it's either like useless and nobody wants it, or there's so many coming into the game that no one's buying them anymore. Which I think
that will always happen with any game, though.
Which is why I don't think this dissolving thing would be that big of a deal for some of these alchable items.
Well,
because we're already at that problem.
The main thing is that it's not a problem, though. See, the problem isn't that like they're set at a fixed price, because like if you were to compare how much like a rune set is now than it was back in the day, it's like not that big of a difference. Like a rune set back in like 2005, 6 was like $250K.
Yeah, now what would it be?
Like what, 150, 180? I don't know.
So, but like with you saying that an item doubling in price is a huge, it's like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
But like on the opposite thing, these items have crashed then from the same percentage, right? 250K now being worth 150K. That's a huge crash.
Yeah, but first, like that happens slowly over the course of 6 years, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a overnight thing. And a lot of that is from like Jagex making mistakes. Instead of addressing the core issue, which is like, why did we let Slayer, how did we let Slayer become such a problem? How do we fix Slayer? It's like, let's just put a band, let's just give some medication. Now you can create crazy good gear, and now these are going to like go up in price, and so they're just changing everything. And the thing is,
so your problem with dissolving is only the fact that there's going to be, the result would be good gear in the end.
No, my problem is that it's like it's changing two major aspects of our economy with one update, which is like a lot to do. It changes it in two different ways, where there's less money being put in the game, which isn't bad, and there's an item sink, which isn't bad, but to do it at such a high scale,
yeah,
on with two different factors. That's where, like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's something to consider when you bring this in. I know you could get like a rune bar if you do like a rune plate bar. I know you have a chance to get some shit back, but like there's just two major things that are happening that will be at a high rate for a long time. And if the average person is considering dissolving as they're like playing and doing Slayerscape, like it will have a constant weird fluctuation of gear that arbitrarily rises and falls, and it makes like the market really unpredictable when new items and bosses get put into the game. Like it just changes so much, and it's gonna like become another beast that they're gonna have to wrestle. Possibly, you never know, it could be the perfect solution, but the thing is that they don't even know what this will do.
Like I agree that it could change the economy a bunch, but I think I'm leaning, you're more leaning towards that it could be bad, whereas I think I'm leaning towards that I think it would be okay as long as you can only dissolve up to rune, like stuff like that, like craftable items.
Well, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's something that they have to consider.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they fully have considered. Because it seems
I would say they have. That's the reason they're bringing this in. Like, this is for them, it's trying to squash two problems at once.
Yeah, in a major way, which
Yeah.
is not how you want to do things. Because we've said in the past, like, it's fine to roll out, like, do it inch by inch, like, slowly try and fix the problem, slowly but surely. Don't, like, slap down this.
Yeah, but like, let's look at RuneScape 3 when they released Invention, because they kind of did the same thing. If not, that was on a larger scale. But they realized they needed to fix their economy was in a terrible spot, right? When you had like barrows being alk price, you know, like tons of items being like so low that nobody cared about anymore.
But that isn't because there's so many in the game. Is that power creep?
It was a bit of both, though. Like, nobody wanted it anymore.
Because
they
there's like way better alternatives, right?
Yeah, and they're just like, it's
like a lot of the value of items is that, like, how often is someone going to be, you know what I mean? Like, if they kept implementing new gear at the rate of like RS3, then like, and new bossing and stuff, like at this point, barrows, I mean, yeah, barrows would be like elk price. It's not because everyone's doing barrows all the time. It's that barrows is now actually bad. And bandos wouldn't be going up. Like, we've had bandos go up in price.
Yeah.
If we were implementing PVM content and gear and stuff at the same rate as RS3, bandos would be really fucking cheap right now. It'd be like
$2 million.
Yeah, which in my opinion isn't good. So like, it's with the way the gear progresses and the amount of people that like rely on some of these gears for them to be constant, like if you have like full ancestral, all my buddies are like, shit, I'm buying a bunch because they dropped so hard since these suggestions. Like, dude, I bought my ancestral top at like 100 mil. It's like 60 mil right now, which is a lot, but fuck it, who cares? Now imagine having that same feeling on a smaller scale, but same feeling as like a free to play or like some dude that's like new to members. Like the average, if you look at the average levels, maybe they're wearing like some dragon legs or something, and those are constantly fluctuating like 80 to 100K, and that's like worrisome for them. And then they're kind of like worrying about their bank values constantly going up and down at like such a low level.
Well, when we talk about the runes, like you're talking about how it's going to be causing these items to go up in price with less money coming into the game. But the problem that we had since old school RuneScape came out is that a lot more, there's so many way better moneymaker methods. At the same time, like in free to play, rune armors are going down. So now they can make more money faster, but they also have to spend less money to get the best gear. So this is like,
well, yeah. The items settled at elk price, and then the money per hour just kind of slowly goes up.
Yeah.
It's not like one day rune armor will be like 60K for a set. Like it'll always sit around where it is if we continue going this way. No matter like if we just like continue this path without implementing like a dissolve mechanic. And the main thing is that like the money per hour is going up because we introduce more, and then we elk it, blah, blah, blah. And then the solution is like gold sinks, right? Like dual arena, like tax the GE, like random stuff like that, like, which they should do. But like they should consider those options and like toy with them a little bit more before it's like, let's attack the item itself. Because right now, I don't think that rune armor sitting at elk price is a big deal. Because if these also go up in price, like for high level players, money per hour shoots up, and same with like Slayerscape. You know what I mean? Like it can help, but it creates this really weird imbalance in the economy where, because such a heavy portion of our economy is linked to elking. You see where I'm getting at? Why it's weird to like kind of put like flex tape on the whole solution. Like, hey, once just put flex tape on armor.
But it could be the solution. That's the thing, right? And it's kind of like, don't really know until they try it. It's one of those things.
But they don't know at all. That's the thing.
Neither do we. No one really knows. We can speculate and guess.
And the thing is, they need to like, if they even have to like hire someone that can like look into this, like
hire some guy from the stock exchanges.
Well, like Blizzard did that. Blizzard's done that a ton of times when it comes like, well, probably not anymore because that they fucked everything up with tokens and all that shit. But like at one point, like Blizzard's economy reflected real world economy, and they also would hire people to like make sure that what they're doing is healthy for the game. Like these are just ideas they're throwing at us, but
how do we know they haven't hired someone?
They probably would have tweeted about it. Let's be real.
We see. Well, yeah. Well, we don't really know though. You know what I mean? Like,
but we do know because in the past they bring in big things that fuck a lot of things. Like they clearly didn't fully think the issue or like what the update will do. I mean, the fact that like the farming guild led to Tebow spawning.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really have.
Okay, well, how about seed contracts fucking with like prices or birdhouses fucking with brews so much?
Yeah, but I mean that's going to happen down the road at some point.
Well, implementing something like birdhouses, if you gave me like a day, and I got a big head. You know what I mean? Like someone who like if you brought in someone to like, all right, this is how this all would interact. They'd be like, okay, well over time, brews are going to be so cheap. Look how many like you're getting per like 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that is something. If they actually sat down and looked at the numbers and looked at how many people would probably get around to doing it, they would have been able to squash that problem before it even came out the gate.
But I don't think they knew it was going to be a problem until they started actually getting the stats for it. Because
but like
wanting the economy to stay how it is right now for the rest, it's not going to happen. Things are going to go up. Things are going to go down. Things that, you know, like brews or like, let's just use some random like super restores. They might go down in price in the future, or they might go skyrocketing up in price for some reason. But like, we can't expect Jagex to try to prevent that every time.
Well, it's not the preventing, it's understanding, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you said, well, why would restores ever go down in price or go up? One, it's like the amount of coming in obviously causes it to go down. But if new PVM content, new updates come out, or like new methods of bossing that require more, or like new uses for whatever, that causes like, especially with like new content coming in, that causes shit to go way up.
But the good thing about the cool thing about RuneScape is like the economy is such like a free economy. It's player driven. I don't want Jagex to be enforcing like what prices should, or like I don't want them trying to control what prices are of things. Yeah, they shouldn't just like suddenly bring in things that are going to cause all these things to crash, because that could be a bad thing. But at the same time,
but they've done that a lot.
Yeah, it's going to happen sometimes. But at the same time, like they have to let the players decide what things are going to be worth with new updates and stuff in the future.
Yeah, and like right now they have decided that rune armor can just sit at elk price.
Yeah, exactly. But that's more. Is that bad? Hands off.
Is that bad? Like, do you think rune armor should be like 500K?
I don't think it should be 500K, but I don't.
Okay, not rune armor. How about like dragon plate legs? You think they should be at?
Like, what do I think? I don't know. It's cool for radio. We don't know anything.
True. The main thing is that like they like what generally will dictate the price of something is its viability, not like the supply and demand. Sure, you could have like 1 million dragon plate legs, but if you kind of use it for like a couple levels and then get rid of it, like you don't need dragon plate legs because they have things like obsidian armor.
Yeah.
Why would you honestly wear them besides like PKing and style? You know what I mean? Like, in general, you'd probably want to go like tank legs, like Torag or something once you hit the level, or like just go straight to obsidian legs and use that till tacits. And so that's what affects the price of them. To like say, I don't think that's okay. Let's make them arbitrarily more expensive and you can dissolve them and stuff. It's like, well, like what the fuck?
When an item gets down to alch price, that to me is usually, it's either the item is irrelevant, like dragon plate legs, kind of irrelevant, more like Fashionscape. But then we look at rune's used a lot. It will always be used a lot.
Temporarily though, it feels like it. Like getting 40 defense, you can get that in a day.
But free to play, it'll be always used. And then in members,
Well, even
You'll still use it for PKing and stuff. You don't use Dragon, right? You're not going to use Dragon for PKing. You're not going to use that to really even train. Like, you might, but is this better?
I mean,
Obsidian, you know what I mean? Like, or most people are going to either stick to Rune to level 70, or they're going to try to get Obsidian.
I mean,
I use Dragon, but that's because I was living in the golden ages.
I don't really think anyone, like, you use, if you're like a free-to-play person and you have Rune, your goal is to wear your favorite god armor.
Yeah,
not to wear full Rune. So even in free-to-play, Rune is temporary. Like, there's going to be a point with the skill where Rune armor will be more expensive than god armors. Which means, so now we have to bring in clue scrolls into the dissolving aspect. Clue scroll items.
Just the trimmed armors, you know.
Well, even like cosmetics and stuff, why would it just be trimmed?
Because you can get the bars from it. Anyways, it's hard to really tell, but I don't know. That's
So right off the bat, there's a lot of things I'm worried about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, like...
But with any new skill, like, there should be things to worry about.
No, it shouldn't.
Well, if there's nothing to worry about, the skill is going to be a useless thing. It's not going to be adding anything. It's like fire making, right?
Well, what's wrong with fire making?
It's like, it's really just Winter Todd now.
Well, should fire making give you a best in slot?
No, but like fire making that's not if that wasn't already in the game, like it would never be in the game. That's just the skill barely makes sense.
Well, because it's not Slayer,
and it barely makes sense, right?
How does it not make sense?
It's a skill for making fires, but you don't ever really use fires. Okay, odd time you might cook some food onto there, but I mean, almost every time you'll have a range to go to, which is better.
So, like,
right?
The people that would say like every skill has to be useful,
you should be able to gain something from it.
Mining's useless,
but you should be able to gain something from it. Like fire making, you don't gain. Like you can light lanterns. Like okay,
light lanterns, cook food on it.
Yeah, but like,
so like fire making adds like a tiny bit of flavor to the game. Sure, it's like weird that it's a skill, but like it's an adventurous MMO that like it's part of like a survival skill, right? You could argue that you should take out hunting, fire making, wood cutting, cooking, fishing, maybe even crafting, and take out all those skills and then put in survival. And now that's crafting 2.0.
I mean, well, then you got way too much going on there. Like,
but so does crafting, right? Like,
I'm just saying, even comparing fire making to wood cutting already offers so much more. Whereas like fire making, who the hell ever needs to burn a magic log to cook?
Like wood cutting only offers more because they added something like fletching years down the road, right?
Well, yeah.
So you want to have something that gives you room to build. Like even if fire making just gave you like those salts that you use once for a quest and like Winter Todd, like they can still find other use that can make fire making like more interesting. It's just that they don't care because we don't need to do that. We have like more things to add, but like wood cutting is completely useless except but fletching's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then cooking, I mean, cooking's pretty useful, but like,
yeah.
And fishing because it's linked to cooking. But the thing is that like each skill plays like a small role in like everything. So just to say this skill is useless because it doesn't do much in a vacuum, it's like, well, you kind of like, you want, like, if you introduce warding as some little skill that doesn't really do much, it's just like a cool little thing, that I think is something that's worthwhile.
But you're the minority. Most people don't want a new skill that they have to train that's not going to give any benefits to them.
But if it gives benefits, now we have to lock things behind it.
Yeah.
And no one likes skilling. Not no one, but the majority of the community does not enjoy skilling. Everyone...
Yeah.
It's PvP, PVM, Slayer. Like, there's obviously, we'll talk about it later on, people that really like skilling. Really like it.
Yeah.
But...
Anyways, let's move off from the dissolving part. I want to hear opinions, though. What do you guys think of dissolving? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think it'll do to the economy? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let us know. I'm interested to hear other opinions.
Yeah.
The next section is just rebalancing some of gear that we already have.
Yeah. First off, so secondly, I guess because Dissolve was firstly. Secondly, why is this linked to warding? This should just be a thing. I'm not against rebalancing of the gear. Like this, they should just like. Why are you roping these ideas that are going to like this? Makes warding more intimidating.
You're right that it's like it doesn't need to be linked to warding because these armors are already in the game. So if you just rebalance them anyways, it'll
put them in like last month's quality of life, or their, you know what I mean. I have nothing against like the skeletal, the split bark, the free to play, the lunars. I mean, the lunars is kind of weird how they're like changing the name and shifting all around, but like even like the battle mage armor, like. Ever since they added those elements, I remember logging in and seeing those battle mages the first time ever. And I killed them for hours thinking I could get their gear and being like, why the fuck can I get their gear?
Not just you, tons of people were there. You're fighting over the spawns.
Yeah. And just like add that to the game. Why are we like roping this?
Yeah.
I understand why. It's because you can like now make these in warding, but like, do that, have that as an aftermath, like have all these new changes come in or like at least be voted on.
Or maybe after warding, if it doesn't pass, then you pull these rebalance things. Can be like, do you even want these to be a part of warding? If not, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the pay-to-play gear. So first, Arceus set. What do you think? They're very mediocre.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
They're whatever.
The next we have Blood Bark.
I kind of mentioned that it's a cool idea.
Blood Bark? We talking about Blood Bark right now? Okay, so the set was improved version of Split Bark with added effects. The closer you are to your opponent, the more damage you deal. There's also a chance to soak melee damage by 50%.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I do find it funny that it promotes bad gameplay in PvP. I already said that. Where like if you're getting, unless they disable this effect in PvP, that's a whole nother thing. But like, you tip even in PVM and stuff, but in general, you don't want to be sitting mage robes while you're taking damage. Like if you're going to be taking the blunt, the big damage times from the boss, like you shouldn't roll the dice to see if you get punished for playing poorly, or like roll the dice even further because PvP, it's so much RNG, right? You don't want to get rewarded for like, oh, he's going to AGS spec me. He might hit a 70. Let me quickly go into my mage robes and take off protect melee. So it's a 35. Like,
you don't. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be doing that, but yeah, you're right about if someone mistakes, gets caught up in it, then you have the chance, like you could still get hit hard. 50% chance to still get hit full damage. You're not going to want to risk it.
50% that's a high,
that's a high. Yeah.
That's a big percentage for, yeah.
You're still not going to be like, oh, he's coming for the AGS, put on the magic gear. You're going to want to switch to your melee, of course. But
honestly, there's probably some scenarios where you might want to keep protect melee up and then swap to your mage gear.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because that, you know what I mean? Because now, like, the amount of rolls they have to do against doing high damage, it might, like, stack.
I guess the question would be, do you need all three pieces on for it to be...
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 3 pieces, but...
It might cause someone to be like, am I going to be able to properly click my 3 melee, my defense gear? If not, I'll just keep this on. Next to the Soul Bark, which is just an improved version, so same idea as the last one.
But you do more magic damage. So Blood Bark, you deal more damage in general. So you could potentially swap to your Blood Bark, AGS spec them for some bonus damage because you're right next to them, and then you take 35. You walk out. No, but
I do like the idea of like wanting to risk by getting in close to do your Ice Barrage. That's a cool way of the risk versus reward. The defense thing can probably get taken out. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of going in close to do the spell.
Yeah.
And you're putting yourself in danger. So the next is Cosmos. This degradable armor is an improved version of lunar armor with further increased damage to aquatic enemies, but each piece has a 3% strength bonus.
Yeah, and what's
magic strength bonus. Whereas Ancestral is 2%.
Every piece is 2%?
Every piece is 2%.
RIP.
Yeah,
Ancestral.
So before we go into the next piece of the gear, I really do like the idea of having top tier gear being some sort of craftable.
And degradable. Although, one thing that World of Warcraft did that I liked was that they always had like a couple pieces that were really
couple materials that were super hard to get or worth a lot of money, and you had to get it through bossing or something, right?
Yeah.
I like that because it's cool. It's cool having to craft some piece of gear that's really good. We don't have that anymore, right? I mean, you could say that with Pegasians, but that's just like nothing. What do you need for that? Like 60, 70?
Well, 92 Slayer?
Oh, yeah, to get the crystal. But, like, for another good example would be the toxic blowpipe. You need, 50 crafting to make that?
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Well, because the player base doesn't like skilling.
Yeah.
So they have that already, but they implement it through Slayer. Like Ferocious Gloves, you need to get 95 Slayer to kill the alchemical Hydra to get the leather.
Mm-hmm.
And then that it's gated behind combat as opposed to crafting. Just because like the whole meme Slayerscape, everyone hates scaling, but it's kind of true, and we're kind of always pushed in that direction. And this is kind of pushing us in the other direction without going into like these next pieces of gear we talk about. You need like 80, 90 like warding to make these, right? It's not like anyone can make them. You actually get rewarded
Nice.
for like leveling the skill up high. And it does. The one thing I will give warding credit is that it's kind of cool to think that the skill might be so fucked that you could sit there and make money at a high level.
And that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, like you like there's some instances where you like smithing. If you have 99 smithing, you can like make good money per hour.
How?
Making rune two-handers and free to play.
That's so lame.
Well, when I say good, like a couple $100K.
But I like I said, I love the idea of actually crafting gear that you're going to use.
Yeah.
So I like that. Now let's go back to the Cosmos. 3%. It being stronger than Ancestral, I don't think is a good idea. You should probably swap the two stats.
It's actually really funny to think that if we go back to Xerix and we said no to Ancestral, these would be a really fucking cool idea.
Yeah.
But because Ancestral's a thing, PVM, Slayerscape meme, again, these being added to the game being better than Ancestral means that they're not going to be put in the game. Which kind of shows, this is like why I keep always saying that Jagex doesn't understand why skills don't get put in the game. And it's because nobody likes skilling.
Most people don't like skilling.
Yeah, when I say nobody, the average person would be like
They'd prefer not to skill.
If I ask you, like, okay, like, it's listeners, but I'm going to put you on the spot. If you do a skill for a day, what would it be?
Or it's like, you come home from work. What do you want to do on RuneScape? I kind of want to do Slayer or bossing. I don't really want to do rune crafting. I don't really want to do wood cutting. It's not fun.
If you have to do one skill, like, you don't have to answer it. It's like, if you don't want to, but like, just in general, if you have to do one skill, you can like think it in your head. What skill is it?
No, let's all say it at once. 3, 2, Slayer.
I was gonna make a joke that isn't combat related.
Oh,
I was gonna make a joke like that, but
shit.
That isn't combat related. It doesn't matter what the answer is. Most likely, you're thinking of something that's pretty fucking AFK. It's like, like wood cutting. I just go watch Netflix for the fuck it. I'm just gonna do wood
not
cutting.
Gonna play.
I got redwoods, baby. I don't need. It's easy. It's like not many people are like, wow, I really like 1.5 ticking, so I'm gonna choose wood cutting. There are people that do that, which is fine. It doesn't matter if you don't like scaling or not, but these are kind of the repercussions of like Ancestral being put in, and then these items could be super cool, but because they have to be better than Ancestral for them to be put in the game.
I think this was a mix-up on Jagex's end. I feel like Ancestral should not be the stepping stone to the Cosmos gear. I think it should be the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. Because I 100% agree. One, the gear would be degradable. So it's like you're going to have to constantly put your time into it. Two, you would only really use these at DKs or something, right? Like what water-based creatures are there that you'd really want to use this on?
Yeah.
Kraken would be pretty hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Slayer, right?
Nice.
Think what other Slayer bosses live in the water? You know what I mean?
Zulrah? Maybe?
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. it should be a stepping stone towards Ancestral.
So I think it should have a 1% or 2% strength bonus, if any at all, because I'm totally okay with it going Arums, Cosmos, Ancestral.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to go Ancestral, Cosmos, because then Ancestral, it's going to be like 2 mil for the set. 3 mil.
Yeah, I would even think like take out the strength bonus, but add like a neat effect of like when you attack aquatic monsters, like these like kind of bring in like enchanted bolts type thing. This can happen to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Instead of it just being more damage, like make it interact in a cool way where it is better than other stuff, but not as good as Ancestral.
Mm-hmm. Now, we should say we have no idea what resources are required for these gear. So for all we know, Jagex's plan could be like, no, it's so much more efficient to go grind Xerix until you get Ancestrals than it is to grind the materials. Probably not, but we don't know, right?
Yeah, unless you gotta dissolve Ancestral into this. But
anyways, let's move on to the next one because it's the Dagon High gear.
Yeah.
Should note this is not new gear. There's a dude, I think it was at the Varrock Castle Library who has it. I think that's the spot. But also, this is also gear that's in RuneScape 3. The only difference with this gear is that with RuneScape 3 and Old School RuneScape, I don't think there's a set bonus in RuneScape 3. It also requires 40 matching, 40 defense.
But yeah, so for Dagon High and RS2, it's like the same thing, 9 total magic strength. And it's good against skeletons, ghosts, and zombies. I don't know what Vedian's magic defense is. I'm assuming it's pretty low, but the first thing that comes to mind is Vedian. Is it Vedian? Is he like undead?
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat, We've harped on how shitty that boss is. Might be cool to have like some new ways to kill him, right?
He's got a pretty high magic defense, 250.
Oh. Never mind then.
Yeah, because right now for Vedion, you use a crush weapon because he has negative 10.
Yeah.
So you're going to still use that, it seems.
But regardless, what, Vorkath maybe? Could you now maybe mage Vorkath? I don't think so, but maybe?
Maybe.
It's an option, I guess. I don't know. Still, regardless, you could just, the mage strength bonus is an issue.
Yeah, it also has the 3%, so.
Yeah. So the next one is Kin Hunter.
The Dragon Hunter magic robes.
Yeah, and it totals at 15, so 5 strength per piece, more than double Ancestral. And you would use this for Xerix. This on Olm would be fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
If you're in like max mage and you're maging Olm, like you already ripped the mage hand, especially with the Brimstone Ring, which added a lot. With the Sanguinesti staff too, it added a lot. This adds a shit ton of more damage. Like it's kind of crazy. Anyways,
I like the idea of the robes giving you a bonus.
But it's just the numbers.
The 5%, 15% total is a lot.
Like more than double than Ancestral. Like it should be you should want, if you're an Iron Man, you should want to get your warding up to make these to get Ancestral.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Yeah. So it's a little too high. I would be totally cool with this being like a little bit lower than Ancestral, but I still would love it to be like, hey, it's pretty damn good still when you get the full set.
Yeah, my main thing is that it's stronger, but also it has improved damage. It's a double stacking effect, which
it's too good.
Yeah. And then the last one was Venomous, which is 3% for each. Well, hold on, sorry. Let's go back to Kin Hunter because there are things like Rune Dragons and all that stuff, and just like Brutal Black Dragons, like all the other kinds of dragons you could use this at.
Yeah, like I said, I made the Mithril Dragons, so
yep.
I'll help you there.
It's not just Olm, don't worry, guys.
Vorkath.
Yeah, Vorkath.
Again.
And then Venomous, it's 9% total, but improved damage against lizardmen, spiders, and snakes. Zulrah is a snake.
Yep.
So this would be used at Zulrah. Again, same issues before. It's just too good. I like the idea. Stepping stone meme.
What I think they should do is increase Ancestral to 3%, put all these to 2%, maybe have some at 1%, I don't know. But then instead of having it increase damage against these, maybe just increase accuracy.
I think they should just have special effects. So like if you're wearing a full venomous set, make it so that you like reflect venomous damage. If you're venomed, your venom damage would like either hit them or like
you recoil the venom.
Yeah,
I like that idea because then you have to risk, should I take this poison damage to recoil more?
Well, I was just saying, like, even like if you're PvPing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like you're bossing, maybe you don't take the damage, maybe you just reflect it back.
Yeah.
And you could just counter that by bringing anti-venom if they're trying to reflect venom onto you. Like because hey, snakes have venom in their glands, so why can't you hold your venom in your glands, right? Your armor glands.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I accuracy stuff. Like, I just find it kind of boring. Like, I do want to see like neat special effects, but anyways,
moving on to the weapons now. So we have Mystic Cocktails, basically the magic version of Chinchompas.
Yeah, I actually really like these.
It's a cool idea, and it also might give room to, the unholy vials or unholy water. No, sorry, holy water. It's a ranged weapon, and it's a vial of holy water that you can throw at demons, and it does extra damage. Problem is, they're hard to get, and they don't really do that much damage. Not really worth to use.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't really in here, but I could see it definitely being added to it as well.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea. Does it fit for warding? Maybe, yeah, maybe. I could also see it kind of fitting with Herblore.
Yeah, I would probably, I assume that this was going to be added for Herblore. Like, no, warding. We need more for warding.
Yeah.
It's like Kevin from The Office. Warding. You got a new idea? Add it to warding. But I really like the idea. The one thing I would hope to see is that it acts differently than Chinchompas.
Yeah.
Not just like use it on demons, but if it's like an AoE based cocktail, have it like you hit a group of skeletons or maniacal monkeys, that's probably going to use it. And then instead of it doing random damages, it would be like threes across the board. You know what I mean? Where like it hits one because it's like an explosion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe have them like just do different effects that might be really cool.
You could have it so it hits whoever you're aiming, it does X amount of damage, and then it does like a dot to everyone else as if it was splashing on all of them.
Yeah.
Or as
like
you said,
slows them, drains run energy, like add it to like some PvP clanning utilities, like instead of dead man mode. If that's still a thing anymore, we don't know. But have it where like, oh, they're throwing cocktails and these dudes are getting their prayer drained because the cocktails drain prayer over time. You know what I mean? Where like they could add different ideas and like interactions with these items in like an AoE Chinchompa-esque format, spice it up.
And the next one they have is Demon Bane Claws. So these are, it looks like it's gonna be like a staff. You'll be able to auto cast specific spells against demons based on the claws you wield.
Yeah.
I don't know, it seems unnecessary, I guess.
It's a cool idea, but outside of what Skatizo, there isn't that many. I mean, I guess Abyssal Sire. But
to me, the Demon Bane Claws does not sound like something I'd want to create. It's more like a drop from you know what I mean? Like a unique that would drop from some boss in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be something that like, oh, you craft these once you get claws from the lesser demons or whatever. I feel like, no, just maybe have a demon boss that drops these as their unique items and have them not anything to do with warding.
Yeah.
Skull Scepter Imbues. You can auto cast Crumbling Undead. And it has a magic bonus against the undead.
Well, like quickly going back to like the Demon Bane stuff. Yeah, like, I like the idea. I actually like the idea of these Demon Bane claws, but the fact that they focus so much on demons, but there isn't really that many demons to kill,
especially casting magic on.
But like, if it's but I mean like, well, demons in general have like a negative magic defense.
Yeah,
but
Abyssal demons is about it.
Yeah,
someone might come out with a new one for what was it, Krill Tutsura?
Yeah, that could add like some new viabilities. But I like the idea of having like a weapon that casts a specific spell. like similar to like Saradomin Strike and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's just I guess I'll go into it after the items and stuff.
I feel like that should be a unique that drops from a boss. But yeah, the Skull Scepter. Right now you can get like 4 pieces for the Skull Scepter in the Stronghold of Security. It allows you to teleport to like the Stronghold of Security, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to release some tiers of them.
Yeah, and they want to add they want to add spells to the standard spell book. So like with Smite and Banish Undead, they come in the following: Chaotic, Deadly, and Bloody, and Wrathful.
Having to imbue your original one, I'm okay with that. I should say I'm okay with imbuing being part of warding. I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, take all the imbues in the game and find fit somewhere in warding. That makes it so much more streamlined instead of going to NMZ for some things. And like the next we have like the channeled skilling rings.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So cool idea. And we're going to talk about it some more, and we're going to get some more examples of this. But if you remember, way back, I think it was Mod West, Mod Ghost, Mod someone. Remember when he came up with the Arceus spellbook, his redesign?
I think so.
And this was supposed to be some sort of spell. He had the spells that would allow it so that you would... They had skilling spells of some sorts, if you remember. Wood cutting, fishing, and mining. And it seems like they've taken that idea and put them into rings.
Yeah, and the biggest gripe for me at the time was if you're like mining or wood cutting or doing something AFK, like you won't benefit as much from this as someone who's like botting. You know what I mean? The benefits were it benefited people that kind of game the system more than people that skill how we typically skill with sound off watching Netflix. But if you're having like an imbued channel or a channeled ring, I think this is kind of cool. And we already have this implemented with the mining gloves.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing that we're now seeing the same idea, but in rings. I'm just saying it's interesting that they've taken some of these ideas from the Arceus spellbook. And the only reason I'm bringing it up because as we go down more, there's going to be more examples that they pulled from that.
Yeah. And I like how they kind of keep these ideas and try and find where they can actually work. And it's like, it makes sense, not just for the skills, but like how they're actually going, like how it actually interact with the game, right? Like you don't want to have to cast a spell to get more wood. You want to wear a ring that has magical powers that can get you more wood. Like that sounds cooler. Like it kind of, fantasy, but like it
sounds cooler. It's just much more realistic.
But the use is just, it's like there's
quality of life use.
Yeah, like you want to benefit from it if you're AFKing because no one's gonna want to watch themselves cut magic trees.
Next, we have other content. I assume you're okay with the combat rings being imbued through warding, right? Taking it out from NMZ.
I want that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid that it sits in NMZ, so it's totally cool for it to go into to warding. I agree. So next we have battle wards. So these are these wards you put down, and they'll give you some combat effects to you or others around it. So you mentioned before. Okay, well, what do you think of this concept as a whole?
Bad.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either. Okay, the idea itself is interesting, and I'm kind of open for it, but coming from warding, like I said, this seems like it's now you're just throwing shit to see what's going to stick.
Yeah.
I would much prefer in the future for this to come out as a drop from some unique boss, or a unique from a boss. You drop like a battle standard, and now you have to drop this flag on the ground, and it lasts for like a minute, maybe. I would prefer that.
My thing, it's like, and it pulls enemies towards it, aggroes nearby mobs, AoE damage to mobs like die near it, and you're like, Slayer, catacombs. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
It like you like it's like what the fuck? Like why are you making bursting and shit easier? Like Slayer's already like.
That's why I feel like these fit as a unique drop, because then they can't come in as fast. You can't just have some dude who's going to be making a shit ton of these just to gain experience and level of skill anyways. If you have it as a rare drop from like monsters, like, yeah, if you're super rich, you could always have
Yeah.
monsters aggroing when like nonstop for you, which is going to make it much more AFK. But you might be dropping like 1 mil for one battle stand.
Yeah. Chance to heal and casting magic. Kraken.
Sanguinesti staff.
Yeah. Dagonoth Kings. Theater of Blood. Like, off the top of my head.
And this is me assuming the resources are not going to be too crazy, and you would be able to just make a ton of them.
Yeah.
So it's a little, I don't think it fits in wording.
Yeah. Chance to restore prayer. Like, same thing. Recoil small amounts. What, you're going to take out Ring of Suffering at Zara now? And you're going to you drop one of these?
Next, we have Conjuring. So you basically can summon things. And this was a big example that I remember coming from the Arceus spellbook.
Yeah.
So this got pulled from that, it seemed like, and they're using it for warding.
But Conjuring and area buffs are both related to Battle Ward still. Like, Battle Wards will have 2 uses.
Right. Yeah.
That's the main thing, right? You get area buffs, or you could be conjuring, like, these monsters that, like, they don't specify, so I'm assuming they just, like, help you fight shit. Like, they don't tell you what their uses were.
So me reading this, though, it makes it seem like Jagex wants the Battle Wards, and they want it to do either A or either B. Either be a Battle Ward or be a Conjuring Ward. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, you can heal from magic and you can summon an Anku. I think it's going to be one or the other.
Yeah. It has multiple uses, but like I don't. What will a shade do? Why would I choose a Hellhound over an Anku, or a Greater Imp over a zombie?
Might just be prices, right?
So I can only think one might be range, one might be melee. Like what do they bring to the table? Like, I know they don't want to like suss out all the details because we're gonna vote no on it, but like, what are they expecting if we say yes? Like, are they gonna start like do that? If they have it all planned out, put it in the blog, right?
Sure.
If they don't have it planned out, don't put it in the blog. Like through the whole process, right? Like, you don't want to like you've been that kid or know that kid that does a presentation in high school, and it's just like you need 14 slides in your PowerPoint, and 6 of them are pictures, and you're just saying stuff like, yeah, in that picture, that's the state of Ohio, and you know what I mean, where it's like okay, this is just like filler shit. Like, what's the point of this, right?
Yeah, it seems weird, and like I was much more open with it coming from the Arceus spellbook, because the Arceus spellbook is stupid right now. So I'm not really sure if this is something I would want to. I know I don't want to see this coming from warding. It's just too random. So next we have the 2 skills that would help you get materials. First one being farming. You said earlier you're not a fan of this.
Well, evidently these 2 would help you get 1 resource of material, farming and hunter. And there's the only way, my reason behind that the only reason why I say this is that if you look at the skill guide, they all require cloth for like armors.
Mm-hmm.
And then like hides and stuff when you get higher up there. But so it's like mystic cloth, but you get flax and silk. So you have to put that together to make the fabric, right?
Okay.
So it's not like I hate farming. It's okay. I'll get my resources through hunter. It's you have to do both at the same time. Which,
if you're an Iron Man, you can always just go buy them. But yeah,
or like when they first come to the game, you have to do it. But in general, you're probably gonna add this to whatever. But the main thing is that getting the resources is locked behind a time gate, which is super weird to have a Bible locked behind a time gate. And a time gate is something that like it promotes or it stunts like your ability to progress in a game just because of the time limit. It's like you're playing your mobile game, you're playing Clash of Clans, and you run out of stamina. That's what farming is. You plant the flax, you have to wait for it to grow. You can't just sit there and flax. I got 10K, move on to hunter. It's plant the flax, go do your hunter, timer goes off, run back, get your flax, go back to hunter. and like that's how you're gonna end up, like, air quotes, efficiently getting your cloth, most likely, just from like the evidence that they show
through skilling. But they did mention that they would also be dropped from monsters,
the lower level ones. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they like,
though they said lower level ones, and
but
sure,
I think it's safe to assume that eventually we would get the higher ones from higher monsters or bosses.
maybe, but like they shouldn't say, okay, yeah, oh, you don't like farming? That's okay. You can just go get your like dark flax from Dark Zalra. You know what I mean? Like
Or
that
Zalra.
shouldn't be, well, you get flax from Zalra, that's why I made a shitty joke.
Right.
But like that, you shouldn't have to PVM for a time gated resource, because why is it time gated then? Why do they have to have an alternative to the flax? But the main thing is, like, they only say that because they want to ensure that, like, hey, we're not taking all flax out of the game.
But it's like, it's no different than herblore, right? You can either farm it or get them from monsters.
Yeah, but like, it was originally, it's not like herblore is like, dude, like, so herblore, it's a Bible, but like you're like, all you do is you make potions, right?
Yeah.
So herblore is like an assistant, or like it adds flavor to combat. You can boost your stats, raise your prayer level or your current prayer points, whatever. But you don't need it to like train, right? It's like, it's a thing that adds assistance. It adds flavor to a part of the game. They want warding to be able to make you these armors, right?
Yeah.
So if making the armors is locked behind some arbitrary time gate, it's weird to have a Bible that's also time gated, which means that like the materials will be like inflated due to the fact that like it's going to take you way longer to get it because it's locked behind farming, which like that was kind of the thing I mentioned in the beginning when we were talking about like crafting versus warding, where smithing, and imagine like, hey, you ran out of the wood in the furnace. You got to wait for Betsy to stock the Varrock furnace. Wait 20 minutes. Hey, make sure to rate our mobile game. You know what I mean? Like, that would be super annoying and weird. And like, obviously it's not going to be like that blunt. It's not that blunt with farming.
No,
but
do you think your bias also comes with you're someone who doesn't like farming? That part of it, do you think, as
it
well?
plays a part, but that's not my main issue. Like,
I don't see an issue with it being time gated, but I also enjoy farming.
So
I like the idea of having to farm for some more resources. I think that's kind of interesting.
I don't mind it, but like the thing is that like it shows that warring is being like pulled, like it's being pulled in so many different directions that like they don't really know what to do with it. Like, it's not, there's so many inconsistencies with all these suggestions. There's so many different things it covers that like they don't even know what warding should really fill, because they say, hey,
well, they know what they want it to fill, but they want it to pass. So that's why I feel like they add so much more of these extra things.
So like,
as a way for a player to be like, well, I don't like this, but I like this.
So like, my idea is that they should take out the armors, all that shit. They should take out everything, and they should, like, even if it's for like the year, right? And they slowly implement it when they have the right numbers, the right ideas, and they should just keep it simple. New ways to imbue. Look, you can get new skilling imbues. It adds flavor to like your AFK skilling. That's the only skill you guys are ever gonna do. Let's be real. You go to Motherlode Mine. Hey, you know, maybe you'll get more gold nuggets. You know what I mean? Like, just let's add a little flavor. Let's let that be a thing. Let's like, the weapons I kind of like, to be honest, are kind of cool, but they should focus on one of those, and then they should really like figure it out. They should iron all the details. They should find out what people like and dislike about skills and Bibles and stuff, but then like work on like how to make that okay, or like make it like work for warding. They shouldn't have like all these weird ways to interact with the skill and then have it come out on day one. Like, they should just, it's
a lot for a day one skill.
They should focus on like, magical type jewelry type thing, you know. Even if they came out with like a revision 3.0 and it was like a really in-depth, this is how we're doing battle standards, I'm more receptive to that because at least they like have a direction. Right now, they don't. They're just like magic things you make, warding, and it's like.
But again, it's good to be aware of the problem that they realize with many other things in the past that if it's lacking in any way, people are going to vote no because they don't want dev time being spent on it. Like sailing, right? Sailing had one direction it was going, but people were like, no, we want more from it. And it got squashed because of that, right?
So, well, there's a lot of weird things with sailing. And one was kind of like where the community was. I mean, I bet you sailing would pull way better today than it would have when it did.
I would say so. People are craving that new skill.
Yeah.
Especially a combat related skill.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, my thing is that Jagex knows things don't pass, but like, they don't sit down and talk to the community and be like, "Hey guys, look."
Well, they do though, right? They do it a lot.
And Q&As, no, but like they don't like really like spell things out on like why don't you like you think don't tell me why because honestly like going through like the subreddit this week like I'm a veteran player. Listen to me on this is why warding's bad. And then the guy like admits he's been playing for a fucking year.
Yeah.
And you're like, how is this front page? This guy's making shit hot takes. Like this guy's an idiot. People are eating it up. People are like, warding sounds amazing. And you're like, warding has some really good things. And I understand why people like and dislike it, but some people literally dislike it because it's a skill. And like, there's just so much like stupid opinions that come from like a really selfish place. And like if Jagex were to like sit back and like the people that like actually care to explain like what their goal is with this skill, and then if they like take into consideration why people hate skilling so much, and if people like are honest about it, like if there's like an actual discussion about why there hasn't ever been a new skill added to old school, which is like kind of messed up. Like I don't want a new skill in the game. But if they were to implement one that is good for the game, in my opinion, then I'll vote for it, right? Like if they come out with like some good ass reasons, I'll be like, this fucking sucks, but I'll vote yes. And like, if they were to be like, hey, look, we get it. No one wants to do warding. How about this? Quests and shit won't be locked behind it unless you really enjoy the skill. We could have a quest expansion that gives you experience in it. We're not going to lock Raid 3 behind 90 warding. Don't worry. You know what I mean? Like, because like, honestly, you don't need a skill in this game to do high level PvE. Like you don't need to do it. So people don't do it and they dislike it. And I don't know, add Slayer 2 if we really want a new skill, I guess. But like, they don't like exactly know why things aren't passing. And the community, like, it's being dumb.
It's like, not just one or the other. There's people vote no for their own reasons, right? Everyone has their own different reasons.
Yeah, of course.
But that being said, this poll is going to be coming out until sometime in May. They sent surveys out. I don't know if you've gotten one.
No,
but they've sent out surveys, and you can check your inbox to see that this is where the survey. This is where you can get it. I got it in my email, but I checked my inbox in game first, and that one will ask you. It's asked you what you want out of warding. What do you like about warding? What don't you like about warding? How much do you play? How many accounts do you have? What levels are they? How often do you play? You know, so it's asking a bunch of different questions. So I think when you said they're going to come, like you want to see a third blog going more in depth, I think that's what we're going to see. And it might even get tweaked even more once they get those surveys and calculate them all.
There's always going to be a loud group of the gamers that say like, we want more out of the skill. Like, what do you want? Like, this is what happens when you want more. They throw so many things that aren't that good because it's like they're trying to please everyone's, but nobody is really pleased because like everyone's conflicted.
It seems like your gripes are half towards Jagex, half towards the community.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is, I would agree there. I'm probably about the same. It's hard when they're trying to appease so many people. It's one of the negatives when it comes to the polls where you're having to you're trying to appease everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I'm not saying they should just drop this without pulling it. I'm just saying this. You know, it's just it's what we have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So
It's just like I guess the last thing I'll mention is that they should like at least figure if warding ends up being scrapped, like I'm gonna like kind of be cheesed. Even though I don't want a new skill, and as of right now, I don't like warding as a concept. It's got some really cool things I do like though, but I want them to like at least have a good understanding on why none of these updates are passing.
mm-hmm. I'll agree with you when I'm like, personally, I want a max. So obviously I don't want another skill to train, right? I also, so that's me being selfish. Skill wise, I think warding this dev blog, I don't think is a good representation of what it should be. But I do think there is a spot that this could fill when it comes to tailoring magic gear.
Yep.
So I think that does fit in the game. So this skill I think would be good for the game, but just not as it is depicted in this dev blog.
Yep.
And I will say that if I'm going to take a guess though, but I think if this doesn't pass, I don't know if they're ever going to come back with another skill. This will be the third skill that failed.
Yeah.
And each time a skill fails, they kind of spend longer coming out with another idea, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like
sailing, artisan, and now warding. That's 3 skills.
Yeah, which is kind of shitty, but they try to do too many things. Like they were implementing summoning, divination, not as much divination, but still some, and like intervention, I guess.
Invention?
Yeah, invention.
Watching too much of that intervention?
Yeah,
Getting too much for this podcast.
What is it, A&E or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever. TLC.
Probably.
The Learning Channel. Yeah.
Learn a lot there.
Yeah.
Strange addiction. Again, let us know what you think about warding.
Yeah.
So that was devblog number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we get through number 2?
All right. So the first thing we're talking about is a new proposed skill called wading. It's called wading.
Yeah. Swimming.
Yeah.
I think I talked about the podcast. I think I was like stoned one night or something a long time ago, and I came up with this idea. I think I was at work or something. I was like, I came up with a new idea for a skill, and it was I'll quickly say it. It was there's like underwater city, like a whole world underwater. But when you went underwater, that's where you're trained swimming. All your skills went to 1. They got reset, and you had to train them underwater now. And as you train them, you level up your swimming. And you level up your swimming. And depending on what level your swimming is at, is how high you get those other skills. I posted on the subreddit. People shit on me hard for it. Never talk about it again.
Guys, I found a new AFK method. Treading water.
Yeah.
6-hour AFK. Your dude just like sitting there. Bicycle.
Synchronized swimming bosses.
Yeah. Anyways, on to some quality of life changes. This Salve Amulet has been recolored to make it distinct from the Salve Amulet E. All right, I got some big issues with this.
It's blue, and I'm colorblind.
I actually don't like the color, I'm going to be honest.
No?
No. But whatever. Cool. Sure, whatever. As long as it's like, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Drawing staff. So it's no longer an auto-casting weapon, and this will prevent it from disrupting the auto-cast settings on other staves that are more commonly used for combat. I wasn't really for this, but it happened.
Whatever. I don't
have it. I don't need it anymore. So
nice. I'll be there soon.
Yeah.
And if you're auto-casting with drum and staff, just stop.
No, man. You gotta do you. You gotta shred.
Yeah, that's true. To each their own.
Yeah. I just want to inconvenience people because it doesn't inconvenience me. You know what I mean? I need to give more value to my elite diaries. Birdhouses now have a left click or a tap to build option, which will put the best birdhouse in your inventory, providing you have the required hunter level.
Cool.
Yeah, really, really bad. No, I'm kidding. Nice. This one I'm pretty happy with is the Shiloh Village. So Mosul Ray, that one dude. He now has a left click or tap follow option just to quickly get into Shiloh Village.
Nice.
Skipping the area with the undead ones. This will be defaulted after completing Shiloh Village. I mean, I just use the gem gloves, the Karamja gem gloves, to get to like Durdell. Would have liked this if they had this a couple years ago, but whatever. Easter event. It ends Thursday the 25th. So make sure you jump on that. Ways to make like $1 million an hour.
What?
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you how, but you need 3 accounts.
Oh my god, that should not be money making. For your money making guide, if you have a whole section like, okay, this is for your accounts if you have 5 or more.
That's kind of honestly, it's the direction it's been going. Yeah, so before you listen to that, when I release it, you're going to need a Rune Dragon alt. You're going to need a Bones to Peaches and a Dolo PVM, which is a alt for PVM that you use alongside your main to help you kill bosses like Ceradoma and Ziliana.
Yeah, okay.
I'm totally kidding, by the way. The helmet, okay, I actually really like this year's helmet for the Easter Bunny.
Oh, the bunny mask.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
But like it's just maybe it's because I saw Donnie Darko and the whole bunny outfit dude.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Nope.
Oh, that's pretty good. Anyways, the Gauntlet and Zalcano playtesting. Ooh. If you're a UK player and you're interested in applying for an invitation, they have a survey. We'll be asking about basic account details, display name, stats, passwords, etc. Contact details, and availability. And you can possibly play test at Jagex HQ over 2 days, travel and stay covered. So, hey, you know what? Tweet Jags, but yo, get Deegan and Dills there. I might have work. Fuck them. Who
it's
cares? It's
going to cost you a lot more to fly them out, but hey,
I might upper decker your toilet and give you a big old talk on warding, but
for realsies, if you live in the UK, get some information back to us.
Get like we'll hook you up like spy cams and shit, and then
like
you'll
spy
just get
kids.
Okay, never mind. I hate that. No, I'm joking.
The thumbs.
Yeah. No, but yeah. You want to? Hey, what up, Wild Boys, Spy Kid? I can't think of a joke.
I'm lost.
Yeah,
get out there. We'll get you those Google glasses. You can live stream the whole thing straight to our.
Yeah, you get us that inside footage, and I promise I will complain. I will complain about this playtest. No, but it's really cool that they have like. I like how it's not just like, oh yeah, you know those guys that tweet us all the time that are high level PVMers. It's like, hey, you want to get involved in this?
Yeah,
come check it out. And then merch store, which they got some new Easter stuff. I want to get those goddamn socks. They have some socks. Shipping's gonna be like $30. It's gonna be so much to get the socks. But they have like funny little Easter socks that look dope.
But you could is anything RuneScapey about them, or could you just like those exist outside of?
They have yellow text on it.
Oh, okay.
They say fancy socks, like fancy boots.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then there are like Easter girl and chicken soup pins and
from Angelscape
mystery bags.
What?
Like loot boxes.
Oh no.
Yeah, they will contain a random selection of 3 key rings or pins from the Angelscape range. And a 1 in 10 chance to get sold out limited edition loot. So
they ain't sold out. Dude, they've just been pulled. What is this?
Dude, we're getting loot boxed.
This is IRL micro. This is how they do the microtransactions, which, okay, I'm okay with that. You go ahead, do
IRL microtrans, so like a merch store.
If you're...
Yeah.
I guess so.
No, but that's actually... That has to be a fucking joke. Is this April Fool's?
They're making up for it because we didn't get one this year.
Loot boxes. We can buy literal loot boxes.
I am a sucker for that type of shit, though. I actively have to stay away from trading card games.
Yeah.
They will suck me in.
Yeah, good old Jagex. So, other news. Attack style change support tickets are going to be closed
today.
Yeah.
So, this is not helping you.
Yeah. Beginner clue scroll drops have been added to the following. 100% chance from Bryophyta and Obor.
Cool. Good
idea. Really like that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Hill giants, ice giants, moss giants, muggers, dwarves, skeletons, hobgoblins.
Cool.
Boom. The painted POH helmets, shields, and banners crested with Sarazami Gothics now act correctly as god items. The third age plate used to disappear visually if you looked at it on certain angles. They fixed that if you dropped it. So that is it for the updates.
I guess now we'll move on to community chatter, and
oh god,
it's 2 things that aren't really fun to talk about, but
one's stupid and one's gross.
Yeah.
Really stupid.
Yeah. So let's start with gross.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a player in the EHP community who was gunning for 100. I think he's going towards 200 mil experience.
Yeah, he was going for rank 1 smithing in a day or rank 2 in a day.
I think he's just going for 200 mil and then figured he wanted to try to see how much he could get in one day, in one sitting.
Okay.
So he went for 30 hours straight, got like 11 mil, something like that experience. He got a lot, but the repercussions of...
Got rank 2 for a day. For the day, like rank 2 EHP for smithing for the day. But in that process, he rebranded what EHP stands for. Typically, it means efficient hours played. In this instance, it's efficient hours pooed, nice. Which is a 0-time thing now.
God.
He shit his pants and just played runes. I'm not even kidding. He literally shit his pants.
I was just laughing. It's so stupid we're talking about this.
Is it sad that this is an actual thing?
Is it sad this is what this podcast has come to?
You know what's worse is that he shit his pants, but he also had to have been peeing in bottles the whole time. So, like, he could have...
He tried to shit in a bottle, but realized it was a bad idea.
He could have just brought buckets.
Ew.
You know what I mean?
Is that worse? I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't know, man.
Well, like...
How is this news?
we just need something to laugh at after fucking wording.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like kind of chatting about that.
Yeah, you showed me a tweet Mod Ash did, right?
Yeah, someone tweeted to Mod Ash that he should ban the guy because it's like he's clearly addicted, and Mod Ash said like, "I'm not touching him."
Yes, that's good. So number 2 in smithing and number 2 in the pants. So
nice.
God, we're children. Still laughing at poop jokes. But God, that's a
thing now.
As much as I want to say to each their own, as long as you're not harming anyone else, but like, I don't know.
We have mobile now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse.
This is true.
You could, like, literally have it ready to go and, like, log out, log in. Log out, log in. You know what I mean? It could have been, you wasted, like, I guess you can't play as efficiently when you're, like, using mobile and taking dumps, but, like, come on, man. Like, dude, that chair's ruined.
Yeah. And
the thing is, he was like, he was like, yeah, I shit my pants. So what? You know, he's like, hey guys, did it.
It's totally, I mean, everyone's been there where they've, duked in the pants by accident.
No.
You've never?
No, not since like.
Not since. So that did happen at some point.
When I was like a kid. When you're like a kid in diapers and shit. Yeah, yes. Like.
I remember we went to Dominican Republic when we were kids.
Wait, I felt like a wet fart.
Well, yeah,
would that be considered like poopy?
Is there substance? Like,
yeah, a little spurt, right? Like you like a shot of the paintball kind of, where it's not like a solid, but yeah, it's definitely not just a liquid because it kind of, anyways.
Yeah, we were at Dominican Republic on vacation. I was probably like 9 years old. I remember we were on this bus touring somewhere, or maybe we just got off the plane. I can't remember. It was a long bus ride. There's no bathrooms on it either. And I thought it was a fart. Didn't turn out it was a fart, and then I had to sit in it till we got to the next stop.
Did you just shake out your leg?
No, it was like, no.
It was an ordeal?
They got soaked into the underwear. And I think back on it now, like...
Just tuck it into the Dominican forest.
Well, the fact that I was even like, I'm just going to fart on this bus. Like, God, what a shitty child I was. So yeah, don't let your grinds get to that point.
So here's the thing. Maybe it's just me, but I've held in dukes for like 2.5 days. That's my claim to fame.
What? That sounds like just as bad on the opposite spectrum in a way. Maybe not just as bad, but
I was young, went on like a scout. We were in scouts, and we went to like some scout camp thing where like all these scout groups meet up and do stuff like plays, and then get your knot badge, and all that. Yeah. It was all these things, and the outhouses were so fucking gross, and I didn't want to shit outside because I was young and I just liked only my. I used to be that person that only go to the bathroom like in my own house.
Yeah.
I was there for like a weekend, but I had to take a dump on the way up. And then it was like 2.5 days in, or maybe it was like the week, or I don't know, it was a couple days. But it was bad enough that I felt like ill. And I remember I went to bed in the middle of the day and I woke up and like my whole scout squadron like was out doing this like play thing where like everyone just does plays, I guess. I don't know. It was weird. It's like a thing to do at night, sing songs and shit. And I like woke up and I was like, I have to take a dump. Because at this point, like it was like concrete, like cemented. You know what I mean? Like I felt I was gonna puke.
Okay, yeah.
It was coming out my mouth.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And that's how I got over my fear of gross outhouses. And it was a doozy. But like, come on, you can't hold over 30 hours. Maybe I just have something wrong with me. Yeah, come on. Do you hold in long enough? It like turns to rock, and then it's
Yeah, and then it's like
then you need surgery to get it out.
Getting it out is a problem. Suddenly you can.
But like 30 hours, like unless like the thing is, he made a conscious decision to go for 24 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to shit, so does that mean he had to shit so badly he was still like, I'm gonna do it anyways. I can ride this out. And then like the last couple hours, he's like, nope. It's like, man, you could have like called a friend or someone. They're like, dude, can you bring over a bucket? I got some house cleaning. I
don't have
a garbage bin. Does he not have a garbage bin nearby? Like it's like McDonald's. Dude, hit up Uber Eats, and then like or like any food delivery thing, and then just like bring extra bags.
Oh, and they bring those big like the paper
big ones. Say extra napkins, extra bags. You like,
and can you bring it downstairs for me?
Yeah, bring it into my room.
You might want to leave it outside the room.
Yeah,
it smells.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, because this is yeah. Anyways, I guess the next part is some unfortunate piece of news. I suppose it's not even really news. I don't even know why we're talking about this either, but may as well. So those Twitch, what do you want to call them? Old school RuneScape highlight channels.
Yeah,
they've been kind of coming under fire recently with other streamers and YouTubers.
Shoot them down. Shoot them, gun them down.
They have been. So they've been losing all their monetization from their channels.
Good.
Makes sense.
Fuck them.
They have, I say they because reading into this, it seemed like it's like some underground secret society of highlight channels.
It's probably one dude, like fucking like a program that does it for him, right? But
they ended up messaging some content creator, a female, and basically threatening or blackmailing, because this streamer, this content creator was basically calling this channel out a bunch, talking some mad shit.
Yeah.
And saying how like they're not a good thing. And well, anyways, that channel started blackmailing her, saying, hey, we've hacked into your account and we've got some nudes. Mm-hmm. So if you don't stop talking shit, we're gonna leak these nudes. Anyway, she ended up coming around being like, all right, fine, here's a picture of my nipple, posted on Twitter, and as a way to kind of like gain power back, right?
Yeah,
take control of the situation. And yeah,
thoughts on the nipple?
Looks like mine, less hairy.
Yeah, the nipple.
Yeah. But it's a shitty thing to be put in that situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what kind of shit you were. Know how the things you were saying rustled their feathers that much. It's just a game, right? It all comes down. This is a fucking game. People are shitting themselves and getting blackmailed. But the streaming channels are getting hit hard. The highlight channels are getting hit hard, and I guess they're panicking. So they're trying to find ways. I don't know. They're already in a bad spot. I don't know what one person talking shit is gonna do. I mean, we've talked shit about it. Next thing you know, what are they gonna do? Release our dick pics?
Ask them. 50 mil. That's what I said. I've been requested by random dudes of the GE. True story.
To sell you, send them dick pics?
Yeah. Have I ever said this story? So like, I was bank standing and I found out a dude lived in the same town as me. We were just like having a normal conversation. And then he was like, yo, snap me that dick pic. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, send it. I was like, no, what the fuck? And like, we were just like, he doesn't know, like, he doesn't have my Snapchat or anything. But then it became an ongoing joke between me and my raid buddies. Like, I'll send dick pics for 50 mil. But he kept hitting me up to send him dick pics. He doesn't know who I am, doesn't know what I look like, doesn't know the size of it. It's just weird. Just a RuneScape thing. But 50 mil, it's all yours.
Is that sort of right?
Well, like, It's a service, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I guess never mind and say anything. No, it's rule trading. If like you're trading like
I'm in a bad place right now. I'm in a bad spot.
Jagex, wait, hold on, I can explain. But yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Anyways, to wrap everything up, warding happened this week and not much else.
Yeah.
Just
I wonder
nonsensical
how we're
stuff.
gonna top this episode next week.
I think this is a new low.
I think we've hit like every check mark. We got
Wait until Rune Fest and there's like the Rune Orgy room that happens. Or
yeah, bottle service, bucket service. Now we're gonna need buckets.
yeah, there's like the bathrooms, all the urinals are taken out. They're just buckets with like a tablet sitting there.
It's like a trough, just one big trough that you just sit on.
Anyways, let's teleport back in time.
Yeah, let's go
Get the
back
fuck
in
out of
time.
this spot.
Back when we were normal people.
And if we did shit our pants, it was kind of normal / an accident.
Yeah,
It wasn't conscious. Like, did you think you like sat down being like, I'm gonna be here for 24 hours and I'm gonna shit? Like, do you think it was like as soon as he felt the inkling, like the smallest little feeling, it's like, all right, let's let it go.
like he's like, do I have the shit?
Oh, here it
Not
goes.
really, but fuck it. like one of those things. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so this is the segment where we get to teleport back in time to 2001. Well, we're currently going through 2001 and talking about the updates that came out week by week as it happens today. That's a weird way of explaining that, but anyways, we will be teleporting back in time to 2001, April 6th and April 11th. And you might be thinking, well, last week, didn't you already cover something from those 2 weeks? And that was a couple weeks ago. I don't know what happened, but I done fucked up and accidentally read from 2002. So,
Yeah, so we spoiled a whole year's worth of content.
Yeah, that's not good.
So we're skipping to 2003.
We're actually in 2018 right now.
Before we get in on this, little Deegan lore, I accidentally watched the last season of The Wire instead of season 3. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I was like, oh, I skipped half the, oh, god damn it. So I'd like go back knowing all this shit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's like the Seinfeld episode that happens in reverse.
Yeah. Except it wasn't as funny.
Yeah, it wasn't planned that way. Anyways, massive update coming from April 6th, 2001. So Asgarnia gets added to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that means what got released was Ice Mountain, Monastery with healing monks, the Dwarven Mine, Goblin Village, Evil Red Monks, aka Zamorak.
Yeah.
What are they called? Zamorak?
Zamorak Monks is Zamorak, or I don't know.
And then Black Knight Castle. The city of Falador is brought into the game with a White Knight Castle, Chainmail Shop, and a Mace Shop. Port Sarum is added into the game with a food shop, Battle Axe Shop, and Ice Giant's Dungeon. And with that came 4 new quests. Doric's Quest, Spy Quest, what? Go on a spying mission for the White Knights.
Also known as Black Knight's Fortress.
Right.
Ooh.
Better name. Witch's Potion Quest and the Sword Quest. God, what a shitty name that is. AKA the Night Sword.
Man, I've been doing Spy Quest all day. How about you, Red Hunter 222? Man, I'm stuck on Sword Quest.
What are you doing? I'm waiting for Shield Quest to come out. And then with that, 5 days later on April 11th, they came out with the map of Asgarnia, where they labeled all the key locations so you can now find your way around without getting lost. And that's about it for what happened in 2001. So let's spin over to some of that lore. As we know, when Zarek left the Great Kurend in exile, he left with a crew of people, all serving different needs for him. One such figure was one of the elders from the Arceus house. And being raised within the Arceus house, magic was nothing new to him. The people of the Arceus house use magic all their lives, and they use it as a tool. The beings there are able to live much longer than the normal citizens of the Great Kurend. Because this elder had such a talent with magic, Zarek appointed him as the high priest. When Zarek and his caravan of men arrived on Mount Quitamortum, they went to explore the caves. Upon entering, the Arceus elder knew immediately that magic had infused the materials within this cavern. Instantly, they began playing and manipulating with the crystals that held this magic, trying to figure out exactly what it would be capable of. While the Elder was learning what powers lied within these crystals, he failed to notice a tremor run through the mountain. Part of the cave that he was in collapsed on top of him. He was pinned against the rocks and rubble, unable to move. But because of the crystals, he was able to use the magic within them, and he noticed he could move and control the rocks that had fallen on top of him. Bits of the crystal ore ran through the rocks that had fallen into him. And because of that, when he used his magic to move the rocks then bound to him, giving him more power. Eventually, when he went to leave the cave, his body resembled nothing of his former self. When the others saw what this Elder now looked like, they feared him. The power that the Arceus Elder now had quickly corrupted him. An example of this is shown in the journal he had kept when describing his role as the High Priest. They were right to be fearful. My power was beyond anything they could comprehend. With a mere thought, I could have collapsed the mountain upon them all, then returned to Kren to claim the kingdom as my own. In fact, that would be fitting. Xeric appointed me as his high priest, but the time of priests is now over. What is a priest? A priest is a conduit between the mundane and the transcendent. Yet the priest remains mundane. A priest is a guide, teaching the plodding folk of this world to look beyond the everyday toil of their labor, elevating their thoughts to seek the divine, yet the priest must plod among them. I am not the priest. I am the god. The Arceus Elder demanded Xeric's loyalty. The Elder threatened Xeric that if he did not recognize him as his lord and master, that the Elder would soon end him. But this would not happen. Xeric brought the Elder into a room full of these crystals, and with the magic of them, Xeric bound the former High Priestess into this room, chained to the crystals. And that is where Xeric left him. And that is the story of how Vasa Nistirio became what he is today. No longer a citizen of the Arceus house, he is now a monster, bound within the caves, as punishment.
And now that we're back, we get to skip over to that Grand Exchange. First things first, we have a thing going with Audible right now. So if you like audiobooks, or maybe you like podcasts, hope you like podcasts, or maybe you like physical books, but maybe you don't got time to read them and you want to hear someone else read them to you. Maybe you missed the days when somebody read you a story before bed. Now you can get a professional to do that. You go to audibletrial.com/wild. You get a free month and a free audiobook. audiotrial.com/wild. You can also support the show directly by going to patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our supporter of the week is Jamie Clement. So thank you very much for supporting the show. Summer's here, and I think we both seem to have some big plans for the show.
Yeah.
We got plans. Maybe not.
I don't know if
Crazy
they're big, but
they're plans. Some different things. Yeah, I've been teasing a while now for about these interview podcasts I want to do, and my school is officially wrapped up. I have a lot of free time because I have something in the works for a full-time job, but I won't be hearing about that until near the end of May. So I've been thinking I might put most of my focus on, some RuneScape stuff in the meantime, whether it's streaming or doing these bonus episodes, but I have a lot more time and I want to sit down and actually crack away at doing this. I've spent today kind of redoing my office a little bit. I want to I have all this, Deegan bought me some soundproof foam for Christmas time, but so now I really want to kind of throw it around and make it sound a little bit better and kind of really just focus on making the podcast as good as possible. But anyways, these bonus things would be a fun thing to trickle in with it. And yeah, so with that being said, what do we have going on with the show right now? Well, I have a planned event for the first weekend of May. It's a Jeopardy styled game. It's basically going to be Jeopardy, but old school RuneScape questions. It's going to be the first week of May. So if you're weekend of May, sorry. So if you're interested on doing that, drop your name on the events channel in Discord, or you can send it on Twitter or Facebook. I wouldn't recommend doing it in game because depending on what I'm doing, I might miss it, or I might forget to even put it on the list. If I'm bossing or something and you get me in the middle of a boss, I'll put it down, but I might forget. So the best way to do is Facebook or Twitter or Discord, so it's like always there. It's not just there while I'm logged in. Recommend that. So yeah, it's scheduled for the first week of May, end of May. I keep saying that, unless things change, but I will let you know if anything does change for whatever reason. Deegan, you got anything in the works?
I have a thing that will be coming out around this time of the episode.
So when this episode's released, you'll have a bonus thing.
Yeah, before depending, but yeah, like it's all like it's nothing really to get excited for. It's just like warding related. I feel like I covered a lot of it in this episode, actually.
You just take the chunk of it. So yeah, if you want to hear it again, but maybe just Deegan's side of it.
It's similar, but it's different.
Probably more laid out arguments.
Yeah, kind of like less suggestions.
Yeah,
summary.
Okay, so
Good memes.
Stay tuned for that one. Yeah, we got the RuneScape radio thing that we have planned. I've done a few test runs, and I wouldn't say it's officially going to put down a schedule, but I would like to do it a fair bit this week. So you'll probably see me posting it in the Discord and whatnot. So if you're interested, check it out. But yeah, let's move it on because we got an email this week, and this one comes from Strosity, and he says, "Just wanted to let you know what kind of AFK fishing you can do with barbarian fishing. We've you and I have talked in the past about like how you're doing barbarian fishing because you want that agility experience. I said that I wasn't necessarily wanting to do it because I want something more AFK. I've been probably going to be doing monkfish. So anyways, Strosity's here just laying out some reasons why maybe I should try something different. Anyways, I'll continue with the email. And he says, I fish outside the Chambers of Zarek while I'm at work. It's pretty busy where I work, but I can usually squeeze in about 130k experience, which gives 11,000 agility experience. All from tapping a spot and dropping a few minutes later over the course of a 12-hour work shift. I don't get a chance to do this very often, but one tap is 1.7k experience with a full inventory. I know you want to make money off monkfish. That was one of my arguments for doing monkfish. But he says here, but here's why I think you should. How much gold would you pay for 10k agility experience lamp?
Oh, answer that.
Oh, he's got me
good.
there. Oh, 10k. How much would I pay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be like, I'd probably pay about 1 mil, but that's going to be my primary way of training agility. I don't got that much money. Like 300, 400k?
Really, that much?
I probably,
So you gotta, okay, this is what you gotta do. You gotta turn agility into a buyable. So how much you willing to spend on crafting experience? GP per XP, right?
I have no idea. I kind of do whatever's.
See, I'm thinking if it's 0 time, you use like lamp, but like taking that out of consideration, it'd be like
150k, I'd have no problem doing that, and I would be doing it a lot. 300k, I would still do it, but it'd probably be like once I'd just pick one.
Do you know how much money that would be to max?
It'd be so much money.
See, I think you're gonna say something like 60 or 70k.
Oh, I'd easily do that. I'm trying to say the max. At what point do I say it's not worth it? I'm not going to buy any of these lamps. 300k, I'd probably still buy the lamps from time to time, just not often. Not as often as I would if they were 150k. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'd be going to Zulrah and then with that money going over and buying those lamps to train.
Okay. So 150k.
Yeah.
That's your price. Okay. So that's a good one. I'm going to start throwing that at you now.
You got me there. And he says, let this question sit a little and compare how much money you get at monkfish.
Just force you into a hot take instantly.
With how much agility experience you're missing, let alone the slower rates. Another more AFK training method that is more AFK and has faster rates and makes more money is Karam bombs. The spot doesn't move, and with a quest cape, which you almost have, that's true, you can teleport pretty quickly there with Fairy Ring code DKP. You could then use a Ring of Dueling or Eternal Glory to get out. You just have to fish some Karabwanji on your own time, which have been heavily buffed. Pretty strong arguments there.
Yeah.
I'll be real. He's convinced me at the very least to try barbarian fishing.
Or Karam wands.
Or Karam bombs, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'll try them out. We'll see how that goes. So thanks for that suggestion, but it doesn't end there. The second bit is for Deegan. He explained in the last podcast how he makes money and then stops doing dailies. You get what I'm saying there?
Like I'll do dailies until I hit like a certain threshold of cash.
Is that what you do?
If I'm running, like, I'm hurting when you see me gearing up for a herb run. You're like, this dude's got like 200k in the bank.
Yeah.
Like I'm sweating. Yeah. I mean, I always do my Zaf staffs now. I've gotten good at that. But like, yeah, other dailies, nah.
So then he says a possible fix for this would be to take the amount of coins and turn them into plat tokens, hiding them in your bank, and this would treat it like a checking and savings account. This would probably help get the stack up faster than you'd realize. And he says, thanks for the audio content. That's kind of interesting. I would,
yeah,
I might try that out. Right now I have the plat tokens racked up from some people who donated a bit of money for events.
Yeah.
So I have that there. just so I don't get it mixed up and I'm not having to keep track. But I mean, I might even try that in the future because that'd be kind of interesting just to see how much money are you making from Zaf staffs every day, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can
you can calculate it, but seeing the figure there, you might be like, oh, hey, it's like kind of forgot about it. A couple months go by and like, wow, look how much money.
Even like Herb Run, just sell them afterwards. Plat tokens, boom. NMZ boxes, boom.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for the email. There's some great suggestions there. And yeah, you did convince me to try barbarian fishing. So I'll let you know how that goes once I get there. I'm still working on that rune crafting though, unfortunately.
I'm just saying I had a day off, played Rainbow Six for the whole day, and I had like 300 or 400k fishing experience for that day or something. Or maybe it was like 300k fishing the day. It's not bad. And then agility too. And you're like, oh, decent.
Yeah, not too bad at all. So I'll come back with a synopsis in the future. Anyways, if you want to come hang out with us in game, you can do that at WildCC, or you can email us at the wilderness podcast@gmail.com. It's not, or you could email us. You could do that as well. Anyways,
and or.
Our Facebook is facebook.com/The Wilderness Podcast, and our Twitter is @The Wilderness RS. You can also join our Discord. There's a link posted on Facebook and Twitter, or you can bug one of us in game to get you a link out there. Deegan, you got your stuff?
Twitch, Twitter, Deegan RS. Slowly phasing into the Twitterverse, and what a time.
Whoa, yeah, this is the time to do it.
This is definitely like, I should really stick around.
Look at all this content I'm missing.
Yeah. I can shit on JMods. I found out I can shit on JMods for like warding and stuff, which I've been doing a little bit. Finding out EHP stuff and then seeing streamer nipples.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Twitter's not that bad. I'm going to stick around.
Whole world of nonsensical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my Twitch is The Dills. If you want to come check out some of the test streams that I'm going to be doing this week, you can do that there. All right, and our song of the week is going to be Deep Down. It is this track that is unlocked at the bottom floor of the Haunted Mine. It was composed by Ian Taylor, and it came out December 21st, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that about does it over here for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for listening to episode 130. You can check in next week for episode 131. You know, maybe we'll skip it. We'll get straight to 132. No, that doesn't make sense. We'll do 131.
Yeah.
We'll be consistent for now. So thanks, guys, for listening. Until next week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Take care.